welcome back to another episode of the Prismatic Dragonfly Tavern. We have a new face with us that we're very excited to get to play with again, who was on last week's episode, but you wouldn't have seen them yet because we pre-recorded that episode to be aired in the future. But hi, Dustin.
Hi.
Welcome to the PDT cast and crew, and hopefully everybody gets to meet your character at some point tonight, maybe.
Find out.
We'll see how you
Find out.
we'll see how you roll. But we're back. We were off the air briefly last week, and we will. Oh, but we aired our one shot last week, didn't we? I'm good at this. Right?
No.
No, we didn't. We didn't air anything last week.
No.
Oh yes. So we were off the air last week, but we have a couple fun one shots for you, Bank, for the future if there are stream issues. But we're live tonight. We're going to be getting right back into the story where we left off from the last PDT episode when the group kind of had some downtime. I say kind of because they were still dealing with a lot of things, but to kind of catch you guys up, we're currently joining our adventurers after they have just got out of the Feywild. They've saved the Feywild from a particular blight caused by a villain by the name of Atet. And they went into the Feywild to look for Vander's mother. And they were successful in finding her and successful in defeating a blight infection in the Feywild that has been there for many years. And after a goodbye to his mother, who has to stay there for a bit longer to continue to be part of the resistance, they came back to the normal plane of Akora that they call home and were immediately attacked as things happened because they had been being followed for some time by an invisible compatriot of one of their companions, Skalea. They, unbeknownst to them, this man named Aaron, who was one of her guards, was using an invisibility necklace and has been following them for a very long time, causing hijinks and all sorts of weird things around them. And unbeknownst to them as well, Aaron had a connection to this villain that they had just foiled, Atet. And the villain wasn't really happy with that and triggered her sleeper agent and attacked them as they were vulnerable as they finished using their astral projection spell. Thankfully, they were able to defeat him in combat, and last session was kind of dealing with the fallout of that, getting some rest, and then, because, they didn't have enough going on, one of them decided to contact a villain that has been plaguing the world since the beginning of this campaign named Era, and they were able to establish contact with her. Yeah, just the staring at her. They were able to establish contact with Era and got some hopefully interesting pieces of information from her, and may talk to her again in the future. We'll have to see. And we left off with everybody going to bed that night, and they're going to shortly set out for their next destination, which is probably the university, this giant floating library that is on the continent of Quandir that changes location all the time. They know the current location of it, or they might go to a village in the Quandir Mountains that they've been curious about since the beginning of the campaign too. So there's lots of different options right now. But we left everybody that night on Araleth's Tea Grove on the farm there, and we're going to actually start during that night as everybody had just kind of gone off in different directions to go to bed, because two people, Cass and Sanny, I don't know why I want to say it like that. Cass and Sonny went off to do a bit of stargazing, being those fancy people that don't need to sleep 8 hours. And, they don't need sleep like the rest of us do. And they went off to do some stargazing and just kind of relax. And that's where we're going to pick up tonight with the two of them out doing some stargazing on the very quiet property that belongs to Vander's adopted mother. And there's nobody else out tonight. It's a bright, starry night. The moons are out as well. And there's nobody in sight once Vander and Skalea go into the house. And the house has a couple lights in the windows on, but you don't see any of the automatons. You don't see any people about, and you just have some time to yourselves.
So I know Sonny was out a little bit earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So
She came back right before.
Mm-hmm.
She came back to talk to you guys when you were walking back. So you two would have been with each other when you went off.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So guess we'll find a little spot.
Mhm.
And sit down and say, so how are you doing with everything? Because a lot's happened since our last chat 24 hours ago.
Wasn't really much of a talk at the time. To be honest, it was still kind of a little dangerous there.
It's just a smidge.
How do you think I'm doing?
You don't seem great, honestly. You've been withdrawn, moody. You seem depressed. You seem like you might be like grieving, upset, something like. I'm a paladin.
I think it's. That's what it's. What's in my mind, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Still haven't heard anything that I know.
Yeah. Always try messaging her again now that you're on the material thing.
Wasn't a good time. Not sure. I know I need to. I just. Or I want to do anything again, or there's something I don't want, you know?
It's definitely a potential risk. But at least you know she's alive. She's probably safe.
I just kind of with everything on me.
Also,
I wanted to hear about some of this before we left the rush hour. Much of the other day since.
Mhm.
She was. I haven't seen her since that conversation.
right?
I don't know what she's doing, and maybe I should leave and go. I just. Got something up, you know?
Serious moment. The DM starts dying.
No, continue with the roleplay. No, listen to me. It's almost coated my laptop in coffee. It's all good. Keep going.
It's almost again.
Yeah.
Only the damn coffee spilling. Anyway, serious. I definitely understand that fear, those thoughts. But unless there's something more to the story, it sounds like whatever's come up for Matilda predates your entire lifespan. And it's like you just kind of fell in at a real awkward moment for her.
Just don't know what to do at this point. I mean, it's just. I've only been with something like the way we were before, you know?
Really?
I mean, like, trying to be more serious about it. That's what I mean.
I just, that's surprising.
Mm. Don't really want to get into that, but it's just. I don't know. Not very. I could tell her things about myself that I hadn't really told anyone, and she was just happy about it, excited. She cared about me even more after that. And then she just kind of gets quiet and shrinks a little bit.
A little closer around in a non-weird way.
Yeah, I know
Yeah,
what you're going for. Just. I realize how quickly she became so important, you know? And then just. It's gone. I don't even get a word or a letter or. I mean. She gets right. She's probably doing it to keep me safe, but it's still beautiful to know.
I mean, it's not the same. But I was having a lot of guilt over Busby and Geo and all that. And I had a really good talk with Vander and kind of Skelly, mostly Vander. I apologize for the role I felt the things I thought I should have done. And Vander was kind of like, stop, that's like, you can't control anything. Although, I don't think you have anything that you need to feel guilty for. Maybe in your next sending to her, you could just include that. In case you would like to respond with, yes, this is right, everything is exactly your fault. So, you ruined my entire life.
Oh, please don't. Joke. So if I want, I don't really. Maybe it's
I feel you'll see her soon, probably. After all of this, that's gonna just be a really proud statement.
There's nowhere to go but forward. I just feel a little less certain about what forward is. I'm not sure I like Vander's plan here.
The whole air situation.
That's in the sense I just I understand where it's coming from, but I don't want to. I just don't. Even if he can fix it, I don't know. Everyone really should just forgive them for the things they did.
Well, I don't know that we have to forgive. Justice may still have to be, dealt one way or another.
I'm not sure Vander sees it that way.
Well, then you might have to be overruled in the moment. I doubt Vander's even going to get that close to try anything, so.
We'll just have to see what happens then.
You know we're all here for you, right? Like, ride or die. You can
This is what I'm into. There were other students at my temple. I didn't really have lots of friends. My father's kind of in charge, so most of the people who were trying to be nice to me were doing it to, get him to be nicer to them. And this has been nice. It's just I don't usually have people to talk to about this sort of thing either.
well, now you have 4 of us. So. I'll ruffle your hair.
Hey, what's this one's for?
Cheer you up.
I don't think that is what that does.
Maybe laugh. There. This is what you found in a bar. And you decided to roll them.
No, we didn't get that far. Legend.
Same.
Did this stars look like this where you're from? This is very different from my village.
Yeah, but so slightly different. You were, a little more open you not having canopies everywhere, but yeah. Anyways.
What are some of the constellations you know?
Well, that one is the Mighty Squirrel. And then that there is the fox. And you can kind of see a little bit of the bear dipping down over the horizon.
Let's see. I need to learn the stories of these stars this far north. I'm going to keep traveling so much.
Maybe we'll head down your way and share your constellations and your stories.
I'll be happy to. Like that.
Just kind of maybe drift off into silence.
Yeah. Hang out.
Have you been keeping your arm around her for most of this conversation? After you scooted over and put your arm around her?
Do it.
Have you been keeping your arm around her after, because you scooted over and said you put an arm around her when she wasn't feeling good? You've kept that arm there this whole time, right? Like, because it sounded like it.
She hasn't shrugged it off this time.
Okay, roll an Arcana check.
Ooh.
Let's see if it's do that. 13.
13? You, as you both drift off into silence after sharing some much needed words and getting to just talk among the two of you for the first time in a long time, as your eyes are looking up all the different constellations and the moon slowly arcing through the sky, you do notice a random sort of aura from Sonic. And it doesn't trip any alarm bells or anything like that. You know, it's not something that would cause you to immediately react due to training or your experience in life. But the longer that you sit there in, you know, darkness under the stars, very quiet, not a lot of stimulus, you start to just pick up on it because it's one of the only things that is there. And it's not, the reason that it sticks out to you is it's not Soni's magic. Because at this point, you know what Soni's magic looks like. You know what her magic feels like in a way because she casts so often near you all. The disturbance in the weave, like, you know what Soni casting magic is like. And it's something different. It doesn't feel bad or wrong or anything like that, but there is some sort of aura around her that is really faint that you're picking up as you're just sitting there, probably just because you've been in so physical contact for so long and it's so quiet.
Is it just a feeling or is there color to it?
Great question. If you glance over at her, there is a color to it. The color's kind of like a very, very, very faint, like almost, it's really hard to see. The best way I could describe it is like opalescence kind of thing, just that faint, actually, like this great sticker that says every queer is magic. And it has this, which is true. But no, honestly, this color, when you rotate this a little bit, like that faint rainbow opalness kind of thing, you just see flickering around her. And it's a whole body aura. It's not like it's on one spot or it's coming from her tattoos or something like that. And it's just kind of twinkling there. Like you'd honestly probably never seen it unless for this very specific moment. And while you ponder that for a second, hi everybody, thank you, Jimton, Wordsmith, Sully, everybody for showing up, Mort for showing up tonight and coming over and saying hi. We love you all. Thank you guys for coming to hang out and watch PDT for a little bit.
Sorry,
Awesome.
started on a downer.
Not a downer. It was a very good emotional. Yeah, it's emotional role play and stuff like that. But these people.
In case people start crying.
Wait, what did you say, Joe?
So there was a hydrate redeemed.
Oh, there was a hydrate redeemed just in case people were end up crying and stuff like that. So we got lots of things to drink. Make sure we stay hydrated for all those tears. God knows I do. But yeah, so what do you do, if anything, with this information? Or are you just going to sit there for the rest of the night?
I'm going to. I think I'm just gonna sit there and be like, cool, Sonic has an aura.
Okay. Yeah.
Because that would check out for the shark.
Yeah. I would say the only thing that you would just know that is weird about it is it's not her magic, and that would stick probably in your brain somewhat, just because sure, she's magical in many ways, just like a lot of you have innate abilities and stuff, but it just doesn't line up because it's not hers. And if it's from an item or something that she has, I mean, it could be. You just don't know about that item, and you've never seen this particular aura. But yeah, you guys can sit there for the rest of the night, and excuse me. We will pick up next morning. Did you two probably just stay out the whole night kind of thing, meditating, and like you don't need to go in and sleep or anything like that.
Yeah, whenever Cass had to meditate, Sonny doesn't need to, so she'll just hung out and stay nearby in case anything happened.
Just chilled. It's a beautiful night out there. Quandir has wonderful beautiful weather right now. And yeah, morning comes over Aerith's farm, and in the morning you hear a sort of like light bell sound from the kitchen area, which is just Fulmar summoning everybody on the small homestead for breakfast. And as always, a giant breakfast is prepared because Fulmar loves to cook and they have a lot of mouths to feed. And whenever you all wake up / make your way over to the kitchen area, you will just see people streaming in and out, grabbing plates of food, and getting out to the fields for the morning's work. And I would say that Sick is probably dead asleep after everything, so I think Vander would probably be downstairs well before she would.
Yeah,
but...
he's definitely helping cooking.
Oh, is he? I was gonna say, are you down there with Fulmar? Okay, so yeah, so Sonny and Cass, when you show up, Fulmar and Vander are pretty much wrapping up cooking, but it's obvious, Vander has a bit of like flour in the furbog hair and everything, and kind of the disheveled cook state going on. Fulmar is spotless as always, but Fulmar just kind of nods at everybody as they come in. They've been oddly quiet since you guys came back from the astral projection, but it just seems like they're keeping to themselves. So what plans do you all have for the morning?
Good morning, everybody. How you sort of sleep?
Good evening, huh?
Huh?
Have a good evening, huh?
Of course. Yes.
No, they're all good evenings. No, yeah, they're all good evenings. Sonny, God. Have a positive outlook on life.
You do. Thank you for asking.
Yeah, it was a nice evening. Good. It's been that long doing stories. It was fun. It was popular.
Oh,
Yeah.
plenty of food if you all are hungry.
That would be very welcome right now, actually.
If there's anything that you need for the journey, because I assume that you are all about to depart, please take as much food as you'd like, and there's also food stuffs in storage if you prefer something more suitable for the road. But
Probably some supplies to get down the road would be very useful right now.
we have plenty, and I'm sure that both myself and Aerolith would want you to take anything that you need. So if you need horses or any other things as well, they're more than happy to give those to you. So I don't know what your plans are exactly after everything, but we will help in whatever way we can.
Yes. Are we wanting to go to the little town or the college, or are we straight to your?
Well, if we go back to my temple, that is the other side of the world. We're going to have a bit of traveling to do.
There is a thunder pat in Quandir if you wanted to go that way, but it is long journey.
And even then, we would still need the boat. Yeah. My parent doesn't have a thunder pat. That's the closest one, still several days away by ship.
What do you think?
I think university, and then we hop back on the ship to do more noble sailing and go visit Sonny's homeland.
And cool with that.
All right.
I still see Sonny's aura now that I'm not in contact with her. Have I attuned to Sonny?
You have attuned to the shark girl. You get the following benefits. No. You now, it's sort of like with how perception works. If something's pointed out to you or you've seen it once, it's easier to see again. You have to focus, and it's much harder to see in the light, but yeah, you can catch it now. And thinking back, maybe you've even seen it once in a blue moon over the last couple of weeks. but easily explained by just a glint in the air kind of thing. Like, no way you would have connected the dots. But yeah, standing there in the kitchen, grabbing some food, all of you talking about your next destination, you see the little rainbow opalescent slivers here and there, faintly.
Yes.
Sorry, the oblivious. That's something that got supplies.
You notice that Sunny has a like shimmery aura about her.
I'll have to look. I don't remember this.
I was waiting for that to give us an update.
Generally, yeah, you do generally have to look at these things, but I didn't know if you would pick up on it or if your like astral stuff had been like, yeah, Savi's just openly.
I can, if you want, take a look at it. I would have to ask her first. It feels a little invasive when you're looking at it. So.
I don't think it's for soul to remember.
Oh,
It could be a bubble.
I see. Are you worried about something?
I'm really curious about it. It doesn't look like her magic. It's very different. I just picked up on it last night.
I can look.
Yeah, just in case it's like, oh, that's a curse.
Oh, I don't know if I can diagnose that, but I can certainly try. Where are you?
So just probably pushing up supplies.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so you're all in and out, in and around the kitchen. The pantry's connected to the big kitchen, and Fulmar would be directing to like hardtack and different things you could take on the journey. So yeah, Sonya's right in a couple feet away.
Hardtack sausages,
Yep.
dried fruit, all
Yep.
that kind of stuff.
All the good stuff.
Commander will seek you out. We'll kind of waddle over to you.
Hey, yes?
Is it alright if a little strange? I don't know what now I'm thinking about it. Can I look at you?
I'm sorry, what? You're not looking at me? What?
You know how the other day I looked at Era and I looked at Sick in front of everybody.
Just in front of God. Yes, I understand what you mean now.
I should probably do the same for you as well. And he wants to.
That's yes.
Good recovery.
May I ask why?
I wanted to see because we did mention as smooth as transition you could probably think of. We did mention teaching you both, or whoever would like to participate in astral healing. So that might be a good way.
I mean, I'm not opposed, but we do kind of need to get on the road.
It would be great. It's kind of.
You are going to keep bothering me about this, yes?
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure you consented before I looked at you with my laser eyes.
Oh.
We have the lasers in this one.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good question.
You all think that he's just talking about like a disintegration ray or magic missile or something.
We're gonna disintegrate you.
Wait a second. I mean, I think it needs to, okay?
Yeah, it'd be good to gauge the color of your soul to see what astral magics would work better with you.
Guess this is making sense. Where should we do this?
You stand right there. You're perfectly fine.
In the middle of the pantry.
Yeah.
Why don't we just take this in?
Yeah, sorry about other sweet stuff.
I just want to look at you and see what you on the astral side.
This is not the weirdest thing out of the mass, but it's probably top 3.
And if Sonny consents, he'll use his astral passive thing to activate his eyeballs.
Look at
Activate us.
You will use your monk training in the astral arts to look at this. You will look at this creature using your astral arts to look at their aura.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
My special eyes.
Your yes. Look,
Your
wait.
special eyes.
Look with your special eyes. My brand.
Your fate, I see.
Yeah. What do your fey I see?
I see a woman like the kid's a lady.
No, that was your gator that you turned on. You need to turn on the
I
astral.
can find the right, right settings.
Oh my gosh. By the way, just so you guys, if you haven't seen chat, Jimton, our amazing friend James, has earned a badge for donating 1,000 bits for snorts. So that's, I'm just like, gosh, dang it. But thank you, James. We do love you. All right, so you look at Sani using your astral abilities, and you see the normal aura because you've Sani's aura before because you've used that sight when Sani's been around, and it's not like you target something with it and can only see that. Like, even back when you were fighting that weird, invisible, like, phantasmal killer on the road and they found you, you kind of had an idea of what all their auras looked like in the fight kind of thing. So you have, like, a rough feeling of what their auras are normally. And you've done it plenty of times since then, too. So Sani's aura is always, like, a light lime green, maybe tinted with purple. And immediately, as you look at her and reach into the astral self, you see that aura, but there is something flickering through it. It doesn't really seem like anything's wrong with her aura. It's not like her aura's changing or anything like that, but there's something else that's flickering in and out of the aura that is not something new, and you don't think it's astral related. So you don't think it's anything that is to do with like the soul, spirits, astral stuff, but like it's like looking at a perfect it's like looking at a still pond and like fish jump up and down through the surface and disturb it slightly, but you don't see the fish. Like something's just causing ripples and bubbles in the aura.
You have a description of what your soul looks like, right?
I do, yeah.
Can I hear it?
All right, so if we're actually looking at the full like picture of Sani's soul, I mean, I know Vander kind of perceives these things as like sculpture.
Mm-hmm.
So Sani's is definitely there. It's kind of damaged, but not in the way like anyone you've been treating has been. Like there's no piece of her missing. It's just kind of like eroded, like kind of been exposed to elements for a while. But rather than pieces missing, it's more like everything's kind of been filled in with an energy that's the same color as all her tattoos. But there is one thing that I can think of is that's like the outermost layer. There are also like some little cracks here and there, and some of those are kind of been taking on a bit of a more prismatic hue since you're getting mixed up with Fey bullshit.
I'm assuming kind of in line with what this crackling that you mentioned with the... Okay. And this weird effect that's kind of like a fish coming in out of water with the rippling and stuff. Is it, does it remind me of anyone specific? I'm thinking of Matilda, actually. With her aura.
You've seen Matilda's aura. It doesn't. That's a really good question. Thank you. It actually would remind you the most of Era's aura in a weird way, which is not the best comparison because you didn't see her act in reality kind of thing, but Era's had a weird flicker to it too that is easy enough to write off in the moment. Era's had a weird flicker, and Matilda's didn't have a weird flicker. Sick after the accident with the sending spell had the weird flicker too for a while. And you kind of putting the pieces together that you've seen this before, but you've never really connected it to anything. So the most recent is Era, and the second most recent is Sick. That was only happening back in Aurashire, like right after she almost died.
When I look at Cass, what do I see?
You see strong, bright Cass's aura. It doesn't seem like it's changed recently at all. It seems really bright, which is just like resolve of the soul kind of thing, and hers doesn't have a flicker to it or seem damaged or anything like that.
Okay. You don't have a soul description, do you? Anything?
I mean, Cass is a redhead. She doesn't have a soul.
Yes.
You don't count.
I do too. I'm Irish. I count.
Yeah, but you come out of a bottle. Like I said, I woke up and I chose violence.
Apparently.
Damn.
No.
Damn.
Cass's soul would generally be whole-ish, but there is one nice chunk that is probably like punched out of it, out of alignment.
What?
Okay. Vander's like, I gotta fix all these souls.
What's going on?
Souls.
Every single one of you needs therapy.
Yeah.
Just now
Well,
realized.
so much therapy.
You also
Vander, you're hanging out with adventurers. What do you
Yeah.
expect?
as you're glancing around the room, I don't know if you've ever specifically done it around Fulmar before, but you see Fulmar's aura, and you get to see just an interesting, like, in a sort of study way of the two different auras entwining like a DNA helix on Fulmar, between Fulmar and your mother.
That's cool, actually.
Yeah, just two colors, red and blue, kind of spiraling together. So
He'll turn off his natural self sight, like a little like switch.
he just shakes his head and goes,
Yeah.
He looks to you, very concerned. There's a concerned look on his face.
Yes.
I'm glad I looked at you because Cass is the one that mentioned something was maybe new, and come out of the pantry. Let's go somewhere else. Actually,
Why did we stay in the pantry in the first place?
because I thought it would have been a simple like, oh, that's new. My assumption was like, oh, Matilda's magic, the Fey magic, as you mentioned, was like growing in you in like a cool, cute way because we love each other. Not that. Thank
Do
you.
you want
for
some
telling me.
lemon juice to squeeze into those open wounds?
But that is there. There is. Don't get that wrong.
Just really.
Some of your little the natural cracks in the soul and the spirit is filled by her magic, which is a good sign. But at the same time, the same effect that I saw on Sick is on you.
What do you mean, same effect?
There's like a weird distortion through you.
It looks like a shimmer's around you. It's actually very pretty.
Hey, what?
You have a shimmer?
No, I know what the shimmer is. I'm just like,
I don't mean to scare you. My assumption is that it is tied to a tent, but I feel like it might be a residual connection between you and Matilda as a result. Might not be direct, so it might be like a in-between thing that you just got a residual effect because of your connection with Matilda.
maybe. All right, let's take a look at this. Just walk right past Vander, go out to the couch, and like, I don't want to be in the pantry having this conversation anymore.
So you guys head out to the large living room. It seems like Fulmar probably spent a decent portion of yesterday when you were out talking to Era, and then maybe even last night cleaning it up. There's a couple pieces of new furniture in here, and there are still some burn marks on the floor from probably the fireball that was cast and some of the other spells. And the windows are still open to let the house air out, as there is kind of that burnt smell of wood, a little bit of flesh inside, just a little bit. And yeah, you can head over to the couch. And at that time, Sick is probably going to walk downstairs, and she's half in her normal armor that you guys haven't seen for a while since Orishire. So she's wearing like the chainmail pants with a sash and where the belt where the rapier would go and stuff. And then she's just wearing a loose tunic and walks downstairs and like sleepily like just waves at all of you and makes her way to the kitchen. So she seems like she's half awake, but she's up.
Good morning.
Morning. And you guys are all on the couch or couch near the couch or whatever, however you want to be.
So what is this going to look like now?
Your soul, or
I mean, what do you want to?
there's nothing I don't know that I can do right now.
Okay.
It's definitely something to keep in mind. I don't
Alright.
think you're at risk of anything, or like with what Sick had gone through, because hers was much worse, and with what I'm seeing on you. So I feel like it's just like your connection to Matilda
You
is like
think it is like a resonance?
yes, in a sense that maybe your spirit in some way is reflecting hers. This is just a theory.
Yeah, that's kind of worrying, actually.
In a way, of course it's worrying, but also you can maybe look at it as a sign that Matilda is still connected to you and is alive.
I hope that's what it is. No. I'll have to do some thinking about this and what it could be.
You look fine, for the most part. I did look at you.
Oh, okay.
You do got some
Look
normal
okay.
spirit damage. You got a little piece missing. We can work on that if you want to. But
Most
it's
brutal
not,
therapist ever.
it's not
Hey,
concerning. Nothing that can
okay.
work. Should work.
You could use some work, but like other than
That's
that, you seem pretty alright.
I'm well aware of what that likely is, so thank you.
But yes, after I've seen your souls, I will reiterate what I said the other day, is that we should definitely work on teaching you both. Sebastian.
for both your own benefit and the road ahead.
Vander's own sanity.
And my own benefit.
Yep.
I guess we'll just have to see where things go.
Yes.
I'm glad you're not cursed. That was my concern, and I'm just gonna go pack.
I like how
I'm
e-
sorry,
I like,
did you not?
I like how easily you just all assume what it is and that she's not cursed. But anyway, continue.
I'm sorry, what?
Nothing. Continue.
Did you see something?
She's the one that saw it.
If you see something,
Ah.
I saw something. I said something.
You know, next time you could be saying these things to me, right?
Vander's the one who can be like, "Ah, yes, I can see auras." This is new for me. I was just like, "Wow, Sonny has a shimmer." Kind of
makes
opens.
sense.
So I was like, "Let's talk to Vander. Vander's the expert on this."
As much of an expert as I can be.
Have confidence in your own expertise when I need them. I'm sure you're fine.
I will, if it is reassuring, I'll keep an eye on you.
All right. Oh, gods, I wonder.
Everybody take a drink. Sully just redeemed a hydrate for us to keep us hydrated for all the upcoming tiers. Nothing.
I feel like we should be
Hey.
concerned.
Back in Norshire, when everything with the hag happened, I had that vision. I wonder if... You said you saw this on Skelea too, right?
After she had communed with Matilda.
She didn't... It's not exactly what happened, though. Because it was... That was when she was hurt.
Yes. What I can gather from that is either it's because she triggered a Tet's magic, or because she was contacting Matilda. One or the other, or it's combined. All I know, it has something to do with the Tets and or Matilda.
Well, there was that vision I told you of in Norshire, and I'm still not entirely sure if that was just something being projected into my mind, or
What was the vision?
when I saw a Teth.
It's very possible that maybe she has some sort of residual.
It was that vision that made me warn Matilda.
Ah. I'm not sure.
I don't know, maybe I'm hoping it is not a bad thing, but these last few months I am not so sure.
Yeah, I can't really say. We could also always seek out someone that has more expertise in magic, and they could take a look at
Well,
you.
we were going to go to the college.
Yeah, perfect. We can see if we can find someone there to look at you and then handle. I forget what we're doing off the top of my head at the college.
Oh, right.
I can only have so much in my brain at once.
that thing that I definitely remember that we were doing.
Yep.
Yeah.
We'll do that too.
We have tasks.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what about Sick? Sick is super duper powerful, and
Six should not be using her
Super
magic right
duper.
now.
Yeah.
truth. That is true.
She
Anyway.
needs to be using her spells as little as she possibly can, and I know that is difficult for her, and we have been asking quite a lot of her. We need to not be doing that.
That is true. She definitely needs rest.
DM info just for you / you guys. You do know that like casters probably can sense it without causing a strain if you wanted to ask, but otherwise totally down with what you're saying. But sensing magic or trying Arcana checks doesn't strain the caster, but using any spells to help would, yes.
That's where it's like, we need to make sure she
Yeah.
doesn't get tempted into casting spells on this.
It's not that bad.
Need to manage the hero impulse.
Scratching her arm. and
Wow.
Let her cast a spell. And I
Manage
just
the
one little
hero.
spell. It's all it's gonna be.
Just one.
I suppose if y'all all ready, we could once we're all done with breakfast and getting what we need, we can head to the college.
No sense in delaying too much longer. I don't. Especially if
that might be inviting more problems if we stay.
I agree. If no one else wants to speak, Evander will head over to the kitchen, and
So, are we gonna do what? Go.
he's gonna head to the kitchen and mingle with Sick.
Before you do that, one quick thing. So, when you stand up from the couch and you're about to turn to go in the kitchen, you hear at the front door.
Should I get that?
It-
I'm gonna get that.
Hello?
I mean, it's your house.
It's true.
It is your yeah.
Hi. He's gonna go over to the door and open the door. Hi.
What did they see when they opened the
So
door?
as you open the door, you see what looks like a relatively youngish half-elf guy standing there in some leather armor and what looks like 2 long bows slung over his back. And he goes, "Oh, hi. Looking for Aerolith?
She's not here, but I'm her son.
Oh, okay. Sorry. A friend of mine told me that I could find her in this area, and she might be able to help me find some people.
Maybe.
So, she coming back soon, or?
Probably not for a while. She's
Okay.
she's kind of stuck doing something
Oh, okay.
very far away.
Man. Whew.
But I am the second best, probably.
The second best at what? At being Aerolith? I don't know if that's. I don't think that's how it works.
Well, I'm trained she's trained me in all the skills that she has.
Oh, okay. I was sent by Agver to find some people.
Agner?
Wait, do you know Agbear?
Yeah.
These 2 people speak up from the couch.
He's gonna open the door and let you.
And by the way, since you're meeting somebody new, why don't the 3 of you describe yourselves and we get a fresh description of the characters too? So what does Vander look like as you open the door? Tell us about the beautiful furblog
Of course.
that has flour all over his face.
Yeah, well, yeah. He's definitely looked like he's been
Got
cooking.
some of that.
Yeah.
Somebody cooked here.
Yeah, somebody cooked here.
The signs were everywhere.
All over his
Somebody
face.
cooked here.
You see a very, very tall furbolg. He's about 8 feet.
Okay.
He's not a huge creature.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just about max, pretty much so.
Almost.
He's kind of on the lankier side. He's very lean, but he has muscle, and his most defining trait is that he has 2 metal arms. He's got kind of maroon hair and a reddish purplish skin tone and fur pattern, I suppose.
Gotcha.
He's got a cleft lip and a rather nice beard. And his hair is all tousled and very, very curly. He's got bangs, and the rest is pulled back in a sort of top knot that leaves more below. And that's mainly it. That's fun.
And what about the lady that spoke up from the couch?
Cass is a full elf, wood elf. Red hair, greenish eyes, has like 3 nice claw marks, scars across her cheek. Decently tall. I'm not compared to Vander. Like, a good respectable. Yeah, I think I said like 5'8", 5'7".
You did.
I remembered my characters. Pretty strong, simply clad, all that stuff. I do not have my emotional support battle axe with me right now because it is the morning.
Yeah. Battle axe is an afternoon and evening accompaniment, not a morning accompaniment.
Right.
All right. And the other lady on the couch with you?
All right. Well, Sonny stands up, and she's basically built like a 5'2" noodle-armed scholar, like just really, really like wayfish and almost barely there, and obviously has like a human build, but isn't human anymore. Like has the full like shark counter shading on her skin, like white starting like right around cheekbones down, and then like a dark gray on the rest of her body. Covered in glowing green tattoos that don't really seem to be in quite the same positions every time somebody looks at her.
Oh.
And solid black eyes and like sharp teeth and gills.
Oh. Okay.
And really long green hair, like all pulled up in a braid.
There you go. And as the half elf kind of steps in, he's about Cass's height, around 5'7", 5'8"-ish, around the same height, and you definitely notice, he's got some weapons on. He's got a shield, short sword, and you notice he has 2 long bows on his back, and as you catch him after he steps in, you kind of notice that one looks like a pretty standard longbow, but one of them is a little bit longer, but much thicker. The bow itself is much thicker around, which is odd. It seems like someone of that size could not ever use this as anything but a blunt weapon, but he's carrying it around with him. And you do see that there's, in the kind of the top of that thicker longbow, there is what looks like a rune carved in it. If anybody speaks giant, they can read what the rune is.
Seriously? Nice.
No, we're wrong, of course.
Yeah.
It
What do
is-
you mean, of course? That's not...
They get giant.
Do they by default? Oh, geez, nice.
It's the giant rune for fire.
That's just fire. You won't say that.
I mean, it doesn't sound like that would be out of character.
It would be a character, but
You're gonna throw that out.
So when you step over the threshold in the house, you immediately smell the signs of a recent battle, and can pick out scorch marks from probably a fireball or some sort of fire spell that's been like half covered up with a rug on the floor. You notice the windows are all open, like everything's put together, and it just didn't happen. But maybe in the last day or two there was a fight here. But other than that, it looks normal, and you see like in the distance an individual moving around in the kitchen, the smells of food. You see a lot of stuff on the table, and you see a blue-haired elf kind of hunched over a table in the kitchen eating. And everything seems calm and fine, but you smell like the signs of battle recently.
Sorry. I mean, am I interrupting anything here?
We're just having breakfast and a
Okay.
conversation.
Yeah.
And he'll shut the
You
door.
got a
behind
little. You might want to like brush out.
And he'll like, pat his head and And he's like,
Um,
thanks.
yes, but yeah, I know Agvir. He sent me here to find a couple of people. Said that maybe they might need my help, and he was actually wanting to kind of get in contact with them again. So
I'm glad he is okay. How do you know Agvir?
Agvir helped me out a couple of years back, and actually kind of taught me how to do this. And he kind of taps the rune on the end of his bigger longbow.
Does it shoot fire?
If I wanted to, sometimes. Yeah, it can.
Cool.
Yeah. But I usually only save that for the special occasions.
May I have your name?
Oh, sorry. My name's Alil. Yeah, I'm not from around here. Agvir just kind of told me that to kind of come to this area, and said that I should head to Quandir, and I know a friend who knows Airlift, and she told me that if I was in the area, this would probably be the best place to try and find somebody. Come see Airlift.
That's a good insight to receive. She is very good at finding people.
Okay, good. Well, it seems like it worked out, even though she's not here.
Yeah.
Sounds like you guys are the ones I'm looking for. He did mention a Cass.
That's me.
And I think he said it as a Sani?
Sani Luama.
Sani? Okay. Sometimes in the sendings, it kind of gets lost.
I understand.
And Vander? Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what what else to say for you guys.
No,
I'm glad I found you.
It's fine. What else did Agvir say?
I mean, he just kind of said he wants to get in contact with you. Sounds like maybe he's got something important for you. He didn't fill me in on too many of the details. It had honestly been a little while since I talked to him, so I kind of wasn't expecting to hear from him. But I just by happenstance happened to catch a contact from him. So sounds like maybe he's got more information for you.
How do we contact him.
I imagine he left instructions for me.
He did,
how to contact
yes. He would have left instructions with you in one of the last sendings, and he would have specifically said to make sure that they or you do not contact him via sending, because he had mentioned to you details about what happened to his cabin, one of his last cabins. If you
Yes.
remember that piece,
Yes.
because that's the big piece that he had wanted
And he
shared
had
was
had a
what
run-in
happened.
with Tallwin.
Yes. But he does have instructions on how you can contact him through sending stones in any major city.
Yeah, so he wanted to be very careful about it, but he left me instructions to get you guys back in contact with him. Sounds like he maybe had a little bit of trouble.
That would be accurate to the last we saw of him, yes.
It was kind of, fire, ruin, destruction.
Yeah.
Very concerning.
Oh,
How were we meant to contact him?
so I'm gonna have to go to a major city,
And you have his personal
and
rune with
I've
you.
got a way that I can contact him directly. He left me a way to get in contact with him directly. Wanted to make sure that it was very secured, I guess. He just didn't want. Sounds like maybe there might be somebody that might be able to listen in, and he wanted to make sure that didn't happen.
Fair assumption.
That is concerning.
Kind of makes me think of a Tet with what happened with Sick and stuff.
Yes, and if
We're headed to Quandir to go to their college. I guess if everyone. So.
Well, the college is in the south end. But I think we have to pass through Quandir.
that was my understanding, yes.
Does that sound acceptable?
Okay, sounds like that'll serve just fine. Yeah, I mean, I passed through the Quandir city coming here, so that should do.
Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in the kitchen. What's going on?
Okay.
Back. Shuffle away.
You can come in and sit down. We were just kind of packing up and getting
Oh.
ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Fate was very kind
Okay.
to your timing. We were not planning to be here longer than maybe another hour.
Oh, wow, yeah. That worked out really well, I guess. Wow. Glad I got here when I did. I was almost delayed a little bit longer, but the weather held up on my travels, so. All right. I mean, you guys take your time, I guess. I mean, I've been on the road for a while. Might as well just stick in that mode. So, I don't think if I get too comfortable, I think I won't want to go out again. So.
Where are you traveling from?
It's been a pretty far ways. I'm traveling all. Remember the name? I'm traveling all the way from the Alsop Republic.
Oh, you came across the sea, yes.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I did the large traveling without having to get on a boat. But the last bit here, the best way was to definitely come across over by the Cobalt Sea as well. I came through the last bit there, so.
So you guys gonna hang out with our new visitor for a while? Okay. You said you wandered off to the kitchen.
Yeah.
So Fulmar's washing dishes in the kitchen and just seems very distant, thinking to themselves. And Sick is eating an assortment of fruits and stuff that you both whipped up. And you see that she has a massive cup of red tea in front of her. That she looks like she made her own blend from what was in the pantry. And she is like oblivious as you walk up as she's just eating and drinking with like half open eyes.
Gotcha. He'll approach the table in a way that he's not being quiet and he's trying to make his
Yeah.
presence obvious. And
Yeah.
he like carefully leans down, presses a hand to the back of her head, like or neck, right
Yeah. And she like just like twitches a bit and looks up and goes, "Hey, what's going on?"
A gentle little stroke of his hand. Hey, we're gonna head out, so if you want to get ready to go.
Oh, already?
Yeah.
I guess it's later than I thought. Yeah, sure. Who is at the door?
A young gentleman named Alu. He's
Oh.
gonna come with us because one of Agbeer is reaching out to us, and he's got contact.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting. Do you think it's a trap?
He seems, and he like glances back.
Inside check.
He seems at least pretty straightforward with what's going on so far. The most important part is that he's playing messenger, I suppose.
All right, stranger things have happened, I guess.
We've been worried about Agbeer, so it's cool to kind of be able to see what's up.
Yeah, no, it kind of. I'm just suspicious when things align like that, but that's probably just my old like training kicking in sort of thing, the natural suspicion. So yeah, I'm gonna finish. I'll finish eating really quick and grab everything. Was the rest of the morning uneventful? Just nice and quiet.
Yeah, nice and quiet.
Okay.
And he's gonna give her a little kiss on the forehead before he saunters off. To
She
talk
rolls
to-
insight to see if you're lying. No. 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 She blushes a little bit and smiles up at you as you head off and goes back to her tea. And she'll finish up there in the next few minutes and wander back on out through the front room and kind of just wave at Alil on the way. And she's dressed in like a loose white blouse. She's about 5'1", 5'2", and short cropped blue hair, standard high elf, and she's got sort of military chainmail on the bottom, which you might. You wouldn't recognize the military institution, but you would notice that the chainmail that she's wearing on the lower half, like with the belt and everything, it is very pristinely made, very polished, very military, like high-ranking military kind of thing. But she just like sleepily waves and walks past and back upstairs and
Hi.
That is Scalia.
Oh, okay. Didn't hear about her, so.
Banner's gonna go up to Fulmar and just. We're gonna head out soon, if that's okay.
Of course. Is there anything else that I can provide you, or did you take everything you needed from storage?
I think we got everything we needed. I just wanted to say goodbye when we finally head out, and that I hope you're doing okay.
I'm much better than I have been in the last many years, knowing that Aerolith is safe-ish, and that she will most likely return to us here in the future. I'm happy to exist in the half-life that I exist in right now until she's back, and hopefully we can resolve everything once she's returned. But I feel a new hope settling in once I've shaken off the events of yesterday. So I'm very happy that you came home, and hopefully here in the future we'll have a proper family reunion with Aerolith here.
I agree. And he's gonna hug Fulmar.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Fulmar will give you a hug back, and I assume Alil would see some of this from the couch just to describe it because it's a striking sight. This individual Fulmar is like 5'9", 5'10", and half of their body that's been facing you probably the majority of the time is like a porcelain automaton or a porcelain golem, beautifully crafted. Looks like, you know, kind of a porcelain tea set kind of thing with just. And Vander, I don't think you mentioned that in the description. Did you mention your porcelain arms?
Oh, his arms
Yeah.
are metal.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
he
I
mentioned-
couldn't
he mentioned the
remember.
metal arms.
So the porcelain arms that Vander has is the exact same stuff Fulmar is made out of. The other half, though, is a female elf. Like, craggedly split down the middle, like two bodies mashed together kind of thing. And if you look in the kitchen and see this, you'd actually recognize half of that as Aerolith.
Long story.
Not Aerolith, just half
Okay.
the body.
Because that's. I mean, I was shown a picture. I've seen Aerolith. I mean, she was younger in the images I saw, in the picture I saw, but.
Simply put, it's fey bullshit.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah. All right. Uh-huh.
Fair enough.
Yeah. My mom talked about that.
Yeah, Fulmar gives you a very long hug in return and wishes you well again, and just be safe, and you can all always come back here if you need anything. And if I hear from Aerolith, I will let you know, and if you can, let me know as well, please. I would appreciate it.
Thank you. Keep in touch with how you are, okay?
I will. I think I'm good, but I will.
Quick pat on the shoulder before Vander
Heads out.
reconvenes.
Okay. About the time you reconvene, Sick walks back downstairs. Didn't take her that long to get ready, and she has a military sort of rugged backpack slung over one shoulder, and she has the rest of her chainmail on, which is kind of like a chainmail vest with shoulders, long sleeves on, and she's got blue and silver cloth draped over her, and she's not wearing the uniform like for dress or anything like that with it all put together. It's kind of loosely stacked on her, but actually make a history check for me,
Okay.
because you might, with all your travels, recognize the full suit of armor.
Oh, let's see, 7 total.
7 total.
Nice. Total.
You know just from the build of the armor, and especially seeing like the tabard hanging off her and stuff like that, she's high-ranking military from somewhere. You don't recognize it particularly because there's not like a big emblem or anything,
Yeah.
but you know high-ranking military. And she has a rapier on her waist now and stuff like that too. And she walks down and walks over to the couch and immediately beelines towards you this time, looks slightly more awake, and she just sticks her hand out and goes, I'm Skalea, nice to meet you.
Oh, yeah. I'm a little.
So I hear that you're here to deliver some messages and you're going to help these?
Yeah, I was asked by Agbir to come, and he said he'd known he knew these 3, and he wanted to get back in contact with them, but he wanted to do it in a very specific way. So he needed help of sounded like somebody he could trust, and I've known Agbir for a little while. He helped teach me a lot, so by kind of just by chance, I happened to be in a circumstance where I could help him out with it. So
She nods.
I have a friend from home who knows Aerolith, so I was pointed in this direction, and happened to work out perfect. Even though it sounds like Aerolith's not here, I found who I was looking for. So.
No, it does sound like a coincidence. And she like leans forward a bit and like stares directly in your eyes for an awkward moment, as if just like trying to get a read on you. And she just holds it for a second and goes, "So you don't mean them any harm, right?"
No.
Okay, just checking. And she stands back up to her full height. We've been dealing with a little bit and recently got jumped by someone that we thought we could trust, and just a little suspicious these days. You'll forgive me.
Well, I mean, I think that it sounds like somebody that Aerolith has a lot of trust in. I've been told Aerolith's a good judge of character, so.
She, from what I've personally witnessed with her, having recently met her, I'd say very much so. And her son has inherited a lot of that. And the
Yeah,
family looks
the guy
too.
with the arms, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's an interesting one.
Oh, he is. Vander's just standing there like, what?
Doesn't even realize that they're talking about him.
He's probably not really registering that you're talking about him. He's
Yeah.
smiling.
Oh, Vander. Well then, are you all ready? Did you make a decision on where you wanted to head?
We'll be going to the college, though we'll be making a stop in Quandir City to deal with everything with Agvir and see what his message is.
All right. Well, ready to set out then?
I think so.
Okay. Yep. Well, with that, we'll have the party set on out from Aerolith's, the Vander and Aerolith estate. And you can get back on the dusty road that brought you here from Quandir Harbor, and you can head up to the giant city of Quandir proper over the next couple of hours. From the farm, it's going to take about 3 to 4 hours, so it's not too far on foot. Were you guys going on foot? Were you trying to use, like, I don't think any of you have current summoned mounts, but there was an offer of horses from Fulmar if you did want those for any leg of the journey. So you could also pick some up in the city just to make sure we know what you're doing plan-wise.
It's always nice to walk.
I think we'll figure it out in the city. We need to know. The college is in the southern part of the country right now, so we'll have to figure out the best way to get there.
I agree.
Okay. So you guys set out, and you're going to have 3 to 4 hours of beautiful scenery as you climb the hills up to Quandir City proper. And the whole area is very hilly with lots of mountains. kind of cresting and squished together, and that purple grass that Sonny and Cass would vividly remember from their dream when they first drank the Glister Delight way back at the very first episode of the campaign. You see patches of that growing thicker and thicker as you get near the city. And Quandir itself is built on an old kind of inactive volcano cauldron, and the entire area has like black rocks jutting out as you get closer, and you also see the faint glow of kind of purple crystalline structures up near the city where you can see massive buildings peeking off the cliffside. So you're going to spend a bit of time making your way up there, and that's where we're going to go ahead and take our break tonight. So we're going to go take a quick 10-15 minute break so the cast can get more to hydrate with, because we need more, and just chill out for a few minutes. So please get your own snacks, keep hanging out with us. If you have to peace out at the break, we totally understand, and thank you again, everybody, for showing up tonight, hanging out with you. Love seeing your names in chat and your faces. You are all beautiful, amazing, awesome people. And yes, map, Jim Toon. I like that. Say what? Oh, okay, yeah, we're gonna think, because we've kind of got some tech in the new studio sort of too, we're gonna do what we used to do at the old studio, which I think most of us were really big fans of, and hopefully the audience too. We're gonna go on break, so we're gonna take the next 10-15 minutes to like get drinks, snacks, all that good stuff, but we're gonna leave the mics on. So the break screen will be on Twitch, but if you wanted to chat with any of us that are at the table, or as we come and go from the table, we'll leave the mics on. So go ahead and keep listening, and we'll be back here to pick up the episode in 10-15 minutes. So we're just gonna shut the video off, but still bye. So you guys just make sure with the mics you can like just set them on the table, put them to something, and then sometimes we've had some pretty interesting questions before. Typically,
Yeah, sometimes.
it can be Cardassian. Oh, member of the city and order.
Ah, yes, yes. I just don't trust that coincidence.
Yeah, no. Yeah, thank you. That's kind of what I was thinking of. I've been listening to the Garrick audiobook that that guy just released a little while ago, and Garrick is on my mind. So, but I mean, that's just the thing about D&D. People always trust so easily. And I'm just like, you know, that aura around Sonic, harmless.
Well,
Totally.
the magic in the arcade school of pure confidence.
Yep.
It will be fine because we have the
Yep. just like for months, how the party was like, weird stuff keeps happening around us, but whatever.
I mean, we didn't really have good tools to investigate at that moment, but
No,
yeah.
no, but
AILIL.
Mm-hmm.
Who's like, he dropped it.
oh.
getting caught up on the chat.
Is your mom home?
That kind of was the energy.
Yeah. Hi, is your mom here? My mom told me that maybe I could find your mom here. Is she home? Oh, the bear doll, the fur claw.
Doing okay over there?
Yeah.
Last night. Still a little.
For those in the audience, a couple of us went to a wrestling show last night. And, great experience, but we're getting old.
Yeah, hey, 37, I'm not old.
Yeah, so am I. That we're getting
That's
to.
true. Yeah.
We're getting there. You're sitting next to a baby, so you know.
You're still 37 is still old.
37, I'm not old.
I will not tolerate this no baby bullshit.
I think both of you.
Sure?
Imagine Joe also might be tired of your shit.
Please settle down. You know, an awful lot of rockets to play tonight.
You know what? I have friggin' my
Wow.
Yeah, that's how the night started.
So full of
You better
potential.
watch yourself.
Yeah, right.
Your whole life ahead of you is how it
We're gonna have a nice, easy ride to Quandir.
Just had to go and tempt
Had to
fate.
go and poke the bear, didn't you? Stop being dumb. Be less dumb.
be done.
Come on, be less dumb.
I'm done.
We're being your dumbness is up here. I need you to be more like down here.
You exceeding the limits of acceptable done.
So, man, I don't remember if you saw the art or not.
Oh.
Here's the other one.
Ah, nice.
And that's the missing character.
See that brand with your special eyes?
Ray? Ray, did you see that with your special eyes? Dustin wants to know.
See that brand with your special eyes?
He is tirade.
They're hilarious. Yeah, they're hilarious in general, but like, yeah, I think the D&D Beyond one is the first one where he showed me action.
I mean, just as unprepared for your turn as you were with Pet Pig.
mean, you don't have immediately physically present social pressure keeping you on task, so you can be even less prepared.
Exactly.
The young people are talking. That's not a sign for something.
Viewers can no longer hear it.
No, it's the 1 year gap between the whole show.
I was gonna say, she's acting like she's like years older than us.
Dustin's acting like that didn't got
What? Years. I mean, I probably do. I just haven't seen it in 10 years, so.
I don't remember the last time you had hair on the top of your head.
I mean, it's been actually much longer than 10 years. Because I first, like, shaved my hair off when I was living with the Boyers.
Mm-hmm.
So that was 2005.
Yeah, because I want to say it was when we were, like, still in high school was the last time I saw you with
Yeah,
hair.
yeah.
And even then, it was very short.
Yeah, because it would have been, well, it would have been probably 2006, because I was in Stead for the first year after high school. And then I moved in with the Boyers, so.
Yeah, I remember because I drove you back home from work a couple times.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like 2005, 2006. That was the last time I had hair on the top of my head. Yeah, I'm sure I have gray hair. I'm sure I do. Go, now you can clunk your old. I don't have gray hair. Haha.
The stuff that I saw was
Man, I forgot about your casino days when I saw.
What's that?
I forgot about your casino days. When I
Yep.
saw them in there, I was like, oh yeah, I remember those bad boys. The casino days.
Yep. Perks of having worked at a casino for too many years.
Yeah.
I mean, even after years of use, these still have like a very like well machined hard edge.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're really well in alignment with each other still.
Jesus.
How 7 years old?
Yeah.
snorts during break count.
No.
Yep, nope.
The whole game without snorting.
They definitely count.
There's one on the after.
You didn't want it to count. You should have turned off the mics.
Hit the snort, register.
I'm sure someone can clip it.
Clip it, Cat. Clip it. We'll have to find out. We'll have to find out.
Chat, weigh in. Do
We'll call it a 0.5.
snorts off camera on break count towards
Do
the
they
count?
have to be audible on the microphones?
Do they have to be audible on the microphone?
There was no snort. A lot of people when I spoke to not how. Referee says it's all.
I don't think you can be your own judge and executioner.
Yeah, I don't think that's how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. There was no snorts. We had one snort each game. That's the first snort of a lot of time. This is Tavern. There, it's not going to happen yet.
Well, we've already been credited for a snort, so it's too late now.
Aha! Hey, credit a snort.
Yep.
We asked, and one was paid for.
Yeah, we left it to the chat.
We asked whether or not it counted, and then it was paid for.
Yeah. Chat have spoken.
Jay Snort Gentle is the one who started this one.
Ah.
Doing a real
So
public
naturally,
service.
he's going to lean towards anything that can up the snort counter. He's going to do.
Yeah.
As is fair, and right.
Gotcha. Yeah.
This is bullshit.
This is right.
There was no snort. It was
we
picked
did
up
not
by the
tell him
mics.
It counted. We asked him if it counted. and
Oh,
then
you
he
just
paid.
asked.
We asked him.
Okay.
Yeah, his answer was just to pay when we asked if it counted or
There we
not.
go.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I suppose the arbiter of the snorts. I mean, I'm really thankful earlier that I had some control because I almost spit coffee out on my laptop, which would have been worth like so many bits.
Say, you should draw up for like a technical difficulties strain that we could throw up. You should draw up a mock of Kira spilling coffee onto her laptop.
Well, it's happened. It's happened.
That would be the next tracker. Is the Kira has a coffee accident.
Yeah, because last time I had this up here because I usually put the mic adapter up here and I had my Starbucks here, and then I
see where
went
this is
like
going.
this and
Yeah.
stopped the yep. Kira is nothing if not
There's
an
a technical difficulty
Yes.
strain.
an
You're
old.
spilling like a whole tray of coffee.
I'm
stuff
I'm
on
probably
your laptop.
just because I'm that old and uncoordinated. I just spill coffee all the time everywhere.
Yeah, that's
I never said you were old.
You
I
did
simply
last
said-
week
I
specifically.
simply said I'm not.
All these people just calling me
and
an old
Bale's
lady.
not.
Yes, there's only one old lady here. I get it. Thank you. Anyway,
It's me.
no,
No,
not in
no,
this
I
one.
mean,
Is it opposite?
I definitely
you could
feel a
not-
bit like
you
a
could
decrepit
not
old
pass
bitch
it.
compared to some of the shows I've gone to in the post-a-day recovery afterwards.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, I stay sore so much longer now.
In 20 years, you won't pass as old.
No, Ray is blessed with that natural beauty.
Forever, baby.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I said natural beauty, not forever baby. That's your words.
Both I like.
That's what I said.
I've gotten the
I would've
baby
said
face
similar
thing
thing.
a lot too. That's just because millennials are aging differently than boomers because we don't have money to go sit on the beach and have big long vacations where we get tan, and we don't smoke or have lead cups we drink out. So.
Can I have one of those things?
What? One of the three
Right,
things that I
so-
listed?
There's
You can-
what,
you can
there
have
were, like
lead cup.
4 things listed. Let me roll the d4 and
Yeah.
decide which one you
Yeah,
get.
you can become a smoker.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But you
the
can only
dice pay.
you can only smoke those like long black cigarettes where you put the cigarette on the end of the tip kind of thing,
Oh,
and you have
those are
Oh yeah,
yeah,
the
those-
well DeVille cigarette.
Um,
Awesome.
all right. Well, I think we can flip the cameras back on because we're all sitting here sassing the DM mostly. There was a hydrate. I didn't get another drink.
Haha.
Wait. Joe, are there drinks over there? Well, fine. We're back on camera. But it looks like I can't hydrate because I don't have a drink. So that's okay.
Go get a drink. Where's the-
I don't think there's any in the fridge right now. I meant to bring some, and I don't know if we have water or stuff like
You have
that.
a cup?
but- Don't you have a cup? We do not. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want any of that lead in my life. I gotta
can use
maintain
some of
the.
my water.
I already have enough wrinkles as it is. I don't need any more gray hair.
I accidentally accept radiation.
No. Jimton said you would only spill it, you little
What?
Yes, I am just getting attacked from everybody tonight. I love it. That's what we do here on PDT. We sass the GM endlessly. But yes, I will make up for the hydrates later because I'm thirsty. Anyway, we're back from our break. Thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit on the mics. We love getting to chat with everybody and making fun of people. Usually the DM, but we love making fun of people in general because it's okay. But we're going to go ahead and jump back into the story for tonight. So you all spend 3 to 4 hours on the road, making your way up the scenic road that winds up through the hills towards the massive city of Quandir. Anything in particular that you're going to do on the travels? Are you going to talk about anything? Did you guys want to have specific character moments? Or are you just kind of quietly walking up there, people watching and nature watching on your way? What's going on?
I'm chilling.
Being chilling?
Being chilling.
You chilling?
Okay.
All right. So, how long have all of you guys been traveling together? I
That is
assume.
a great question. DM.
I think we
DM?
like
Really?
4 months.
Okay.
Like-
all right.
Yeah, it's been
Couple months.
it's been about 4 months, yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, mainly met up in Orshire or outsides there.
I mean, that's where we found Vander.
Found him? Like.
Some of us were already traveling together, and
Oh, okay.
They found him on a road swinging at nothing.
Oh.
There was something.
There was, but it's much more fun to like lead into it that way.
Yes, he was fighting a phantasmal spirit, and
Oh,
we lended a hand, and he's been traveling with us since.
gotcha. Okay.
They picked me up there as well. So
Oh.
they like picking people up on the roads or in bars. I mean that one bars, but
Specifically, you were found in like a hotel.
technically you found me in a tavern where I just beat the absolute shit
Right.
out of some really racist people.
It was cool.
Slightly covered in blood.
I see.
Oh, okay.
Do you not remember that?
I don't think I was there for that part.
Were you? Oh no, I met you back when I went to the place you guys were staying
Yes.
at. Yeah. But they like to pick up strays, so
Oh, okay.
We just got poisoned, and we're like, okay, we're friends now.
Guess that's one way to bond.
No, there was a festival in, let me double check the town's name.
aha, maps.
Hayden, that was it. Hayden,
Yeah.
yes. There's a festival in Hayden, and Cass and I were both attending it, but we hadn't really met before that, and we'd gotten along really well at the party, and then everyone at the party kind of got poisoned.
Oh,
And we kind of started out trying to figure out why that was going on.
oh, yeah.
And that's when we met Agbear.
Oh, gotcha. That would have been while I was out, kind of doing some exploring of my own. So.
Did you hear any news about a Glister Delight when you got back to town?
No.
Apparently, we were not the only ones. It was
Oh.
many places all over the world.
Oh. Yeah, haven't come across it yet, but sounds like I'm glad that that's the case. Well, until I got Agvir's communication, I was pretty far out east still, so I didn't really journey out this way until Agvir got a hold of me. So
Are you originally from Alsop?
Yes.
Alsop.
Allsop, you said it right.
Okay.
yeah, I'm originally from Alsop, town up in the Folan Valley. Yeah, that's where I'm from. That's where my my dad moved there after he met my mom. That was, I think husband number 2 or 3 for her. She's an elf, so she's a lot older than he is. But
My condolences to her.
Thick has just the biggest smirk on her face as she's walking in the middle of all this. She's just like,
Even I don't know what that means.
wait, we didn't expect that. It's going right over me.
Yeah. Well, it's cool to meet you.
I mean, it's nice to meet you guys. Good to have somebody out here. I've been feeling a little alone out this far from Alsop. I had started to venture outside of the kingdom proper, but like I said, it hadn't been this far out. And, it's good to finally meet somebody that at least I could seems like you guys are all right. Like I said.
Thank you. It's good to meet you as well, and I know what you're meaning. When I first left my village, I was mostly traveling by myself too.
Same, actually. It's nice to have a group.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you're from Allsap, you met this Agner there and learned magic in Allsap?
I met Agmir. Not he was in seemed like maybe laying low.
No, that would make
I
sense.
happened to run into him. And it's pretty open area where I'm from. Not a big city or anything like that. So he happened to be in some of the hills nearby. So we ran into each other, and I had the village had a problem that he helped me out with. And yeah, he taught me a few things with some of the giant rune magic.
So you don't sort of fall in line with the nation's beliefs about magic then?
It helped me out, and I can't say that the people in charge of Alsop have ever done anything good for me or my village, so I didn't have a problem
That's fair.
going against their decrees.
I've met many from Alsop that do openly practice magic, and some that are still against it despite traveling the world. So just always curious to hear where you fall in that discussion because there's a lot of opinions about it. So
There's certainly no shortage of them. My experiences getting outside of my village, yeah, definitely there's no shortage of opinions about magic over in Alsop, but
well, and I'm sure now that you've traveled somewhat, or you know, as your travels, you've seen a lot of different magic.
oh yeah, definitely much more than I was ever exposed to. So a lot of this is those thunder pads were an interesting thing to encounter the first time I used one.
It's a bit of a rush.
Yeah, that was interesting, but came out in one piece.
I mean, if you're curious, if you have an open mind and you're curious about it, I will say that from my travels, Quandir is probably one of my favorite places when it comes to innovative, everyday uses of magic. From a lot of things that you would consider like, I don't want to say mundane or pointless, they have a good way of using enchantments in my mind. So instead of letting an old building that's a historical, you know, monument that's been there for a very, very, very long time, you know, fall into ruin and you need to tear it down and rebuild it and stuff like that because the foundation's falling out, they have a lot of buildings that float slightly with magic and just small little things that actually take a lot of work and effort. I don't know. I find that they're very clever, and a lot of cities that I visited in the world don't employ them for probably understandable reasons. But Quandir has a lot of magical architects.
No,
Oh wow.
after we are done in the city, the next place we are planning to go is the college, and that's actually flies.
The whole college flies.
Yes.
Oh,
So
that'll be
we've been
interesting
told
to
it is
see.
currently in the southern half of the country, so we're going to figure out how we're getting there after we're done with, you know, dealing with your message.
Yeah. You know how we're gonna get to a flying college?
I mean, people get there to study, so if I remember
Imagine there's
correctly,
got to be a way.
yeah, there are ways that there are places it stops.
Okay.
It's the only one in the world that I know of, but it's definitely a pinnacle of their sort of magical engineering.
Oh, that'll be quite impressive to see.
All right. Well, you guys continue down the road for a bit longer, having, you know, idle conversation here and there and, you know, commenting on the scenery and just asking different questions. But eventually you round a bend and start cresting the final leg to Quandir. And it looks like half the city is, the city probably started in the inactive caldera of this volcano and spread up and out of it. So as you're walking up the side of this very hilly area that was once a volcano, you see a lot of buildings jutting out of the side, and it looks like they have like a tiered sort of system up to the top. And at the top, there are a massive set of walls that go around the entire caldera with giant gates that the main gates that you're going up through are thrown open, and there aren't even any guards present. And once you walk into Quandir proper, you see that it dips down into the caldera, and immediately, like the vast scale of it probably is one of the first things that you notice. Definitely seems like it's been growing for, you know, hundreds, if not thousands of years, and it's pretty dense and tightly packed around a beautiful sort of crystalline castle that is set in the very middle of the caldera that looks like bits and pieces of it are floating. Not like the main part of the castle itself, but some ramparts or like watchtowers and stuff are lazily floating a couple 100 feet in the air around them. And throughout the city, you see like these little watchtowers made of crystalline bits that are just kind of floating and slowly circling around as if they're keeping an eye on the city. The city and the streets that you're in right when you walk through the gate are bustling with activity. For the three of you, it's way busier than Orishire was ever, even at its peak. The streets here are much wider, though. The sidewalks are much wider. There's plenty of space, but it's suddenly as if, you know, you really stepped out of being in the wilds again and at sea for a while, and you're now in the thick of civilization once more. And you hear town criers shouting the news. You hear all sorts of vendors hawking their wares. You see a couple guards standing on a street corner wearing this sort of beautiful purple and black full plate and just kind of leaning on their spears talking to each other. And you find yourself in the city of Quandir after hearing about it for a very long time. So there are street signs around as well as city guards. Where are you guys headed first? What you doing?
Alil, you said he wished us to use a sending stone, yes?
Yeah, he had very specific instructions for it, so
Was there a specific one he wished us to use, or just any?
specific place.
So what Aegir would have told you is that he has a personal rune that he wanted inscribed on a sending stone, so that you could go to pretty much any magic shop and have somebody do it, but he wants it fresh. Like, he doesn't want you to just go buy a sending stone and try to contact him. Go find a stone and then have some shopkeep inscribe Aegir's specific rune that you have a piece of paper on.
There we go.
On a piece of paper.
Okay. I mean, if we can find a good magic shop, we can get a fresh sending stone made that we can use to contact him.
There were a couple I saw last time I was here. Let me see.
As we're kind of getting into the city proper,
Yeah.
Alil's kind of going to look around, and since he came through here, he's going to look around and get a sense of like color fashion trends that are going on in the city right now.
Okay. Currently, so a lot of the buildings seem to be made out of the black, like pumice-like color of the caldera in the volcano, and there seems to be a heavy theme of purples, dark blues, and grays, like in the buildings and like the culture. But right now, you notice that there's a lot of orange and gray in the streets for some reason, and you see people wearing even. God, what is the name? One of you is going to actually know the name of it. What is the name of the piece of clothing that is worn like around the neck and then draped? It's not a tabard, but it's a you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right? And
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I get what you're. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I don't know the
So
exact name
that
of it.
sort of decorative piece that
Yeah.
is with a lot of medieval clothing and stuff. There's a lot of people wearing one right now that are in different shades of fall colors, like oranges, grays, maybe a bit of browns, and it seems like there is sort of a fashion trend going through the city in that way.
I think it's a skull.
Is it?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Might
Maybe.
be. Yeah, that might be the name of it. And Alil's gonna kind of puts a hand on his cloak, closes his eyes for a second, and then his cloak's gonna turn into a solid gray colored cloak with an orange trimming around the edge of it.
Awesome.
Kind of like a dull orange trimming around the edge of it.
Awesome. And the three of you see the cloak change colors.
It was like kind of like a standard brown, what looked like almost a leathery material before, but now it looks like a kind of cloth gray color with a orange trim around it.
Definitely fits
Oh,
in
you
more.
are having one of those too.
Yeah, it was a gift from actually a friend who knows Aerolith.
I
Come in
see.
handy during traveling for sure.
Yes, a friend of ours has one as well, and it has served them very well.
Yeah.
So as you guys are kind of waiting for Sani to see if she remembers a specific place to go to, you can kind of take in the area around the main gate, and you see a lot of vendors here. It seems like a lot of food vendors, but you do see a couple that seem to be more of your standard like souvenir vendors, and one might catch your eyes that has a bit of a tinkling sound come from it, like wind chimes. And you look over and you see big like wooden display stands on this cart, and there are magical licenses tinkling there, crystalline magical licenses from the days of Edwin, not too long past, that looks like they're all burned out and they've been collected, and they're on this souvenir stand. So just a fun thing that you see in the square.
What's some magical ones?
You wouldn't have probably ran into it, but some of the other people know and heard about them. But when Edwin took over the Enchanted Empire of Elion for a while, and there was the big war that ended over a year ago, he froze magic. So he actually made ley lines crystalline, so you could see ley lines and interact with them, and magic stopped working overnight for anybody, even divine magic. And he made and forced upon people these licenses where if they bought one, it would give them a sliver of magic per day, sort of thing. So like if you pay 10 gold, you get one of these, and you can cast two level 1 spells and one level 2 spell a day, sort of thing.
And before he was taken down, he was a tyrant that controlled magic in a large swath of the kingdom, and Quandir was one of his biggest enemies.
Gotcha.
So, just kind of a trinket from the war being sold by that souvenir stand. But Sonny, had you found a location that you were going to go to?
I'm not finding the name of the place in my notes, but there was that shop the Dragonborn was running when we first got into town. Is the first place that Sonny can think of.
Oh, where we got the boots.
Hmm?
Where we got the boots.
No, there was the one that she went to that was like got all the potions and the sending scrolls from.
Oh, that was down in the harbor. So you wouldn't. So it wouldn't be up here in the city.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you don't have notes on one that you had seen before or know about, but you guys can explore. There are signposts, and it seems like you're kind of the way that the main gate is set up is it has to go through a merchant area before it gets into residential areas. So you can just kind of wander for a bit if you want, and see or ask the person who's been there before, I guess, because I just remembered 6 with you.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
was
I'm
like,
blanked
who
on
am I
that too.
gonna
I'm like,
ask?
shit.
Has anybody been through here before?
I
that
have.
might know? Oh, okay.
I've been here a lot, especially after
Okay.
the war.
Do you know a good magic shop?
I do. I forgot. I'm
Okay.
sorry. I have a lot on my mind.
That's all right.
It has been a long few months for all of us.
It's a big city too.
It has.
So.
Oh, it's a beautiful city. I actually can't remember the last time I walked through the main gates because usually I have to teleport here. Based on where we are, I think I know of one. And she kind of like perks up and looks around and tries to find a landmark and sees something, like probably one of the watchtowers. It registers in her eyes, and she beckons and heads off towards the east, cutting through an alley.
I guess we should just follow her then.
Guess we'll follow her.
She just kind of takes off. Poor girl isn't all here right now. But yeah, you guys follow Sick, and she dashes through an alley that has little shops decorated through the alley. And she pops back out into a main street and leads you down another couple winding roads until you end up at a shop that looks like it's been there for a pretty long time. It looks like it actually, like, this shop is completely made of that like pumice-like material, and it is old. Like, there's a layer of dust on the things that you see in the display in the window, as if the display has not been changed in years. And above the door is a sort of rusting, like with the green rust on there of the faded copper on the sign, and it says the Blink above it. And she kind of like skids to a halt when she reaches it and waits for all of you to catch up and like triumphantly gestures at it. And she goes, one of my, yeah, like that, awkwardly, like that, which is, the awkwardness is only amped because of like the military uniform. And she's like, but she's like, this is one that I have frequented in the past.
Oh.
And it's a little old family run one though. But if
Okay.
you, because you're looking for the sending stone, right?
Yeah. We don't need anything fancy, so.
Oh,
Just need,
sure it'll do.
as long as they can inscribe the rune, that would be all we need.
Yeah. Yeah.
Should be good for that purpose then. And
Okay.
she opens the door and walks on in.
Follow.
As you
Think
guys
we're all
walk
going
in, you get
Yeah.
hit,
Kind of follow her in.
yeah. As you walk in, you get hit by a layer of dust, and the whole place smells old. You immediately get that. Depending on your individual background and experience and likes and dislikes, it could smell nice in here because it smells like old parchment. So it definitely smells like an old library. Very comforting to some of you probably. And you see rows and rows of bookshelves, a couple big cases of glass that display all sorts of scrolls, some unfurled, some just stacked up. And in the back of the shop, there's a tired-looking white dragonkin that's kind of looks like they're in the middle of transcribing a scroll on the counter or something like that. And Six sees something as she walks in. Like, she walks in and it looks like she's gonna go to the counter, and she's like, ooh, and then just runs off towards a display case to look at something. And you see the shopkeep in the back.
Okay.
We can take care of this.
I kind of. Hi. Yeah. We need a sending stone, inscribed, fresh.
And
if you can.
you see the dragonkin like put a finger up for a second, like not trying to be rude, but like puts a finger up and then just like, what was that?
I have a rune for a sending stone that I wish to have inscribed. If you could.
Oh, custom job.
Yes, please. So I'll take out a piece of paper that I had.
Takes it, unfurls it, holds it up to the light that's streaming in through some of the stained glass windows above the door and looks at it for a moment. Did you design this?
No, I didn't.
It's fine work.
It is.
Just one.
Just one, please.
All right. Just a moment.
Thank you.
Typically,
Okay. I can take care of that.
all right. Feel free to and turns around and steps behind a sort of crushed blue velvet curtain and takes the piece of paper with him as they step off.
Shall we take a look around?
Yeah, you guys can look around the shop. Anything you're looking for in general, or you just kind of taking in what the shop has for wares?
I mean, Sonny's always hunting for more ritual scrolls she can add to her book.
Okay. It definitely feels like once you start looking around at books and especially scrolls, this shop is meant for, I don't want to say adventurers, but it's meant for studied magic practitioners, because a lot of common scrolls, you don't find them here. So if you were looking for Bless or Magic Missile or, you know, a lot of things that are considered old hat, they're not really here. There's a lot of names of spells you don't actually recognize, and you both think they could be newer spells that were cooked up by wizards in this very city. After kind of the history of Quandir and the things that you know kind of makes sense. So you just see a lot of very expensive scrolls in here. The average price is 50 to 100 gold at the lowest for them in here. And then you see a lot of different books of all sorts of subjects. Sick ran off to one corner and was like kind of kneeling down in front of an old glass cabinet that's only like 2 rows high, and she was looking through scrolls there herself. And it just seems like there's a wide range. So if you're looking for something specific, let me know. Or you can just take some time and browse the shop. And
Like, Elil's gonna stay relatively close to the counter. He's
Just in case.
just gonna peruse around what's nearby, mostly just looking.
okay.
Um,
Sonic Cass, what about you?
Checking what I can potentially learn, fast to see if anything might be around here.
Okay.
I'm gonna go join Sick.
Okay. When she's kneeling down in the corner at the case?
Yeah.
Okay.
Finding anything interesting?
Not yet, but I always like to stop and see if she has anything. It's really rare to find divine scrolls, and this has been one of the places where I've actually found a few of them before, and I found one of my favorite spells here once, so I always like to stop and look, because this is the restricted scrolls, or the more powerful ones, and I find cool stuff here, and I haven't been here in like 5 years, so I figured why not peruse and see what she has.
Yeah.
Were you looking for something?
Actually, now that I have you ever so slightly alone.
Not suspicious in the slightest, Cass, but
pantry nearby, you can sequester.
Because you can actually be, stealthy, and like
she looks down at the chainmail and wiggles a bit and goes, yes.
unlike your boyfriend.
Certainly more stealth.
Sonny has an aura that is very concerning. And
Okay.
Vander didn't pick up on anything weird about it, but you have different sources of knowledge and magic, and also way more magic. So
Way more magic?
yes,
Okay.
you're a cleric.
I mean, yes, but I wouldn't say that I have more magic than anyone innately or anything. That's not. I get what you mean, though. Sweet, thank you. But wait, I'm confused about the stealth and the. So Sonny has an aura that you noticed that's not normal?
It's like a shimmery, opalescent thing. It's not like Sonny's magic.
Okay.
And Vander made a big deal about like, Sonny, can I look at your aura and peer into your soul?
I'm
And
sure he was just being sweet and wanted to. Yeah.
I'm not attacking Vander.
No, I know. No, I know. I don't need. He doesn't need anybody to defend him. I'm trying to put the pieces together here with what you're telling me.
So he said there was like a disturbance.
In her aura.
Yes.
Okay.
But it seemed fine. Is there any way that you could, like, without causing yourself bodily harm or psychic harm?
Oh, gotcha.
I don't know. Maybe at some point take a look at Sonny and just make sure there's nothing weird going on, that she's not like cursed.
I was about to say, do you think it could be something like that?
Maybe, I can't tell.
What you could just see opalescence, or okay, that is odd. I mean, based on the description, not that colors in any way should be what you rely on to judge the quality or the intent of magic. It doesn't sound like necrotic or like a hag magic or something like that. It sounds pretty. It's not just a glamour she put on herself or something like that.
No,
She's unaware of it or didn't know about it.
she was unaware of it.
Okay, and what Vander find when he looked at her?
That her aura was fine. It has this disturbance. Oh, he saw it on you.
I have the same aura that Sani does?
The disturbance thing above.
Okay,
Yeah.
the disturbance thingamabog. When did Vander see this on me?
After your massive nosebleed.
Which one?
The first one.
So with when the sending, I triggered the spell with Matilda's. Okay. Yeah. So there's not really a way I can be stealthy about it. I mean, I can look at her from a distance and try to judge the quality of the weave around her, but I mean, ideally doing an actual like physical contact moment of trying to sense any enchantments on her would be the more logical path on that way. Or I mean, if Sani consented to it, that kind of thing sounds like she's ready to be slapped in the face with some dispel magic and see if anything happens, or a more direct approach instead of dancing around this. Because if there is something on Sani that she does not want and did not put on there, I'm going to go the way of detect magic, dispel magic, and I just don't play when it comes to weird spells hanging on people. Like, that's just not okay, and I've seen it go bad more than once. So, but if you want, next time she walks past me, I'll just take a more intense sort of look at her and see if I see anything.
Yeah, like I don't want to like freak Sani out more
Mm-hmm.
than she maybe has already been freaked out about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because like maybe it's just that we're finding out her gods are actually abalone, and this is like her god's effect. But
I bet that's like some sort of racial insult with the abalone thing. I wouldn't say that to her, but
selfish.
I mean, don't sharks have shiny scales, don't they?
No,
No?
they're covered in teeth.
Sharks are covered in teeth?
Yeah, Sani's just covered in teeth.
From tip to tail.
I don't. You know what? Sure.
Factually true about sharks.
Nothing but teeth.
I'll take a look at her, but it sounds like you guys haven't figured anything out other than there's something there you can't explain.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yes, I will take a look at her the next time that she walks past, and then if I can't discern anything, she knows about this, right?
Yeah. So
Why
then-
am I trying to be stealthy then?
Because like if you could just be like, "Doo-doo-doo, it's this," and just like go away, and then it's like Sani's fine.
Is this how you think I cast magic, Cass? Is this how you cast magic?
I mean, your
If you-
magic is but my magic, I think, is also.
Yeah, we both cast divine magic, Cass. What are you?
Your
what are
divine
you?
magic
do you-
just comes from the crystal in the ground.
Right. It
do
comes
you-
from a giant rock.
Yeah, and mine comes from a bearded, derpy god. So,
Sorry. The player has.
yeah, no, that's fine.
Cass knows what her magic is.
Yes, we both have divine magic.
No, that's obviously how I cast magic. It's just like, "Doo-doo-doo."
I mean, you do you. Everybody has their different, version of incantations and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
I usually prefer, big grand gestures with some of my magic. But that works for prestidigitation or something. So,
But maybe don't slap Sani across the face with some spell magic.
do you really think, out of everyone in this group, I would be the one that would slap someone in the face with a spell, Cassiana?
Really.
Only if you're getting off a
Witness
boat.
this.
Say what?
Only if you were getting off a boat.
I tend to be the one being slapped with magic.
We've also witnessed this. And Sani is covered in teeth. Don't want you to hurt your hand.
You've witnessed what? Me slapping people with magic?
Yes.
When did I do that?
When you got off the boat.
Clarify. What do you want?
Matthias.
We got to Cornwall.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You landed in
Matthias.
Fondier. You got
Uh-huh.
off the boat. You met your friend.
I slapped them with my hand. That was me pulling a glove off and smacking. This ain't magic. I mean, some people say this hand is magic.
Last night.
Is that what?
Is that what Vander said last night?
Why would Vander have said that last night?
Never mind.
Is that a joke, man? I didn't
Yeah,
get that one.
that was a joke.
Oh, okay. I mean, my hands were tied up, so.
Okay.
But she just deadpan smirked. Probably lying through her teeth, but she gets to make jokes too. I will look at her aura. Let me know if anything else weird happens with her or our new companion, which I'm sure is fine, but I just consider it a strange coincidence. By the way, random question for you, since you just asked me random questions. What kind of flowers do you think Vander likes?
I would say.
I know it's like a weird question and it could be a million different things, and like I know a lot about him already, but like that's not one thing that I really picked out, and I didn't get a chance to ask his mom about that. So
I would price skew towards the wildflower variety.
is that too on the nose?
I mean, he has a big
Just
nose, so
enough
like
on
it's
the
easy to do on the nose.
You're on a
Hard
roll
to-
today,
hard
aren't
to
you?
avoid it.
But no, like he's very druid adjacent.
Druid adjacent. You just have the best descriptions.
Druid adjacent.
I am also druid adjacent.
That's not how I would describe people from Treetop, but go on.
I'm a druid initiate.
I know.
But I feel like he's an appreciator of natural wild beauty.
That's fair. I think that's a great description of him. That's really sweet, actually.
Yes. I
all
think
right.
if you got lavender for him, that would be a little too. That would be too.
I mean, that's funny though. I like that. I thank you though for the advice, because one of the things I was looking for here would be a gift for him. So I just wanted to ask if you had an opinion on it.
If you need me to craft you a bunch of wildflowers, I can do that.
I mean, maybe, but there was a specific scroll here last time that I was here, and I think that's it. And I'll have to have her grab that for me. But yeah, I'll look at Sonic for you, and I'll let you know. All right. So anybody else doing anything in the few minutes where it takes the shopkeep time to do their transcription?
All right. Well,
Sonny, you were looking for stuff.
yeah, just looking through scrolls, and out of the options I can actually mechanically use, I guess the best analogs for what Sonny's looking for would be Detect Magic, Phantom Steed, or Comprehend Languages.
Oh, okay.
Just get some utility rituals.
Yeah. So, quiet.
I'm
troublemakers.
worried about that whispering.
I know those two troublemakers. I have to.
No, I was going through the inventory, and there's a laser pistol and a laser rifle. So I was like, clearly, you need a laser pistol to go with your laser rifle.
Wait, where are you seeing that?
In the inventory on D&D Beyond.
Oh, it's something you can add to a character if you want to.
Oh yeah, because it's probably what.
It's from an adventure,
it's,
probably.
It's
Yeah.
it's from an adventure. It's from Eberron, most likely.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Eberron or
so
Starjammers.
yeah, Starjammers.
Spelljammer, yeah.
You spend some time looking through scrolls, Sonny, and can you list your three again for me? Sorry.
Any variation off of like Detect Magic, Phantom Steed, or Comprehend Languages.
You find Detect Magic and Phantom Steed in there. It would be 200 gold per scroll for those, but they look like they're brand new and in great condition, and you could definitely use them to transcribe if you so desire. You also would probably notice a scroll of haste in there and a scroll of purify food and drink that just stuck out to you.
How much is the haste?
These are all 200.
Okay. Well, I could afford all three of them, so I think I'll also grab the haste. I don't think that one's a ritual, but I could still just use it at some point.
Yeah,
Always
yeah.
good to have a scroll of haste
Mhm.
Yeah.
around, you know?
if you want.
Exactly.
And then Vander, were you doing anything in particular? Were you just kind of wandering, waiting for everybody, or were you looking for stuff?
You look around and see if there are any little bits and bobs that a monk might be able to make use of,
Yeah.
or a failed druid might make use of.
Failed druid. Oh.
Druid adjacent.
Druid
Yeah.
adjacent.
I mean, druid adjacent.
adjacent.
Druid adjacent sounds much nicer. looking around the shop, you see the scrolls, you see the books, and it's a lot of the, same old stuff that you'd expect in a dusty shop like this. Probably not a lot that would immediately draw you in or anything like that. There is a small wooden table, looks like it used to be, coffee table, has a lot of stains on it, like cup stains. And you find it in one corner, and it has a pile of wares on it, and there are some interesting magical items on there. So go ahead as you kind of walk over there for me. Roll a D100. Your favorite dice.
My favorite dice.
36.
All right, 36. So you see a couple gloves. You see this sort of tiara on there as well. Just random items. But I would say the one that caught your eye is, so 3 things. You see a bundled up net, like a fishing net that is wrapped with a ribbon, and it has a small note on it, and it says homing net. And it has a little blurb by the shopkeep about how it can help capture enemies or prey with it. It has a price tag of 350 gold on it. You also see a small amulet on there as well that it has sort of a red glow to it and doesn't have a descriptor card like next to it. It seems like it really draws your gaze in for a few moments, but beyond that, you don't know what it is. And last but not least, you see a pair of brown gloves that look like they have bits of dirt on the fingertips and beautiful flower embroidery on the sides and up to the fingers and stuff like that. And it has a little card on it that says they're 310 gold, and it says Druid's Gauntlets of the Wizard.
Druid's Gauntlets of the Wizard?
Yep.
Is that all it says?
Yep.
He'll the amulet or the gem thing. Is it pretty? How pretty is it?
It's gorgeous. It looks like it's rose gold with some sort of like black obsidian behind it. So like somebody made a like it's a dodecahedron sort of shape. It is rose gold on the outside. It's crushed obsidian black on the inside, and then there's like this red stone that's set in it, and the red stone is cut kind of in a diamond cut. And it just really seems to draw every time you look at it. It's like almost hard to pull your eyes from it. Not like in a bad way, but it definitely does have some sort of magical effect to it that you don't immediately suss out.
He'll pick up the gloves and the amulet.
Okay. A few moments later, the shopkeep comes back out, and there's a bit of a cloud of dust following them, and they have this pretty purple stone in their hand with a faintly glowing gray rune etched into it. Seems to be a perfect copy of the one that was provided by Alil. And they walk out and they set the stone on the counter and they set the piece of paper back on the counter and kind of brush their hands off and goes, 15 gold or so for it. It was a little difficult to create.
Okay. I'll just take out a couple of gold pieces, 15 gold, and toss it on the counter for him.
Yep. Nods appreciatively and swipes
Thank
it
you.
back. Did you just needed the one? You didn't need a pair for it?
No, just one. Thank you.
Of course. And then I assume you're standing nearby with the magical items. How can I help you?
I had a question. Couple. These caught my eye. What do they do?
I'm surprised those caught your eye. I've had those items sitting around for some time. Were you interested in both of them?
Yeah, maybe depending on what they do, I suppose.
Obviously. They both have distinct enchantments on them. They're from a former apprentice of mine. The gloves, despite the odd name, are a very nice item that he originally made for his partner, but he ended up upgrading them over time and gave me the older set in case somebody came along that could make use of them. And what they do is they give the wearer a extra efficiency with working with plants. From gardening to summoning them and using different druidic spells.
Cool. And what about the amulet?
It's a bit of a mystery piece for me that's been troublesome over the years. I've never figured out the creator of it, and I take great pride in knowing where all of my artifacts come from, but it was delivered in my mailbox one night about 3 years ago, and I've never found out who dropped it off or who created it. But beyond being a beautiful necklace, as best as I can tell, it is a magical shield of sorts. If you wouldn't mind putting it on for a moment, I can demonstrate the powers to you. It is completely harmless as far as I can tell.
Sure. And you'll put it on.
Okay, so you put it on, settle it around your neck. You don't really feel a major difference, but you do notice just like a brief shimmer in the air. Not the opalescent stuff going on with Sani, but just a faint, like, fizzy shimmer of blue light in the air, very faintly for a moment as you put it on. And the Dragon King kind of like leans back and waits and watches for a second and then goes like this, and a bit of fire pops up in their hand, and they go, "You'll be fine." And goes like this and just tosses a little flame at you, like this big, just, and the flame goes towards you, and as soon as it gets near your neck, it just evaporates. It's lower magic that it protects from, but it seems to be some sort of a protection charm.
Cool. How much for all of this?
I mean, when I listed them, they were about 300 gold each, but they've been on that table for years. I could part with them for... Make a persuasion check. just for your, how much are they for? Just general charisma and stuff like that.
Wait. You want the roll itself, or
The persuasion. So
persuasion.
roll plus persuasion modifier.
17?
17? They nod back and forth and kind of stroke their chin a little bit and goes, "Tell you what, 300 for both of them.
Are you sure?
They've been on that table a long time."
Okay. Well, here you go. And he'll divvy it up.
Okay, yep, takes the gold and goes, honestly, the amulet could even have more magical abilities in it. I just haven't had time to test it, but I know it's not cursed, which is the guarantee all my items and scrolls come with. None of them are cursed. But hopefully you'll enjoy them.
Thank you.
Are you going to put the gloves on?
Yeah.
Okay. So you put the gloves on over your porcelain hands, and you immediately kind of know what the shopkeep is talking about, because as soon as you put them on, you're just you're very much aware of plant life in the city in the immediate area. Very faintly, like you put them on and you're just like, there's a bush outside that we missed on the way in. Like it's weird. You're just like, there's a bush outside that needs to be watered by the door. And then it kind of fades away and you're just like, okay. Yeah.
Cool.
So, Sick walks up moments later after you finish, and she just is beaming from ear to ear, and she's like, "Good to see you again. I would like to grab these if I could." And she slaps down 3 really like musty, dusty scrolls on the counter that all are wrapped in like this pretty gold ribbon, and just slaps down a couple platinum pieces for it. And she has a brief conversation with the shopkeep and smiles, and they talk for a few seconds, just back and forth, and then she scoops them up and shoves them into her bag and looks up to you and then over at Alil. Did you get everything that you needed?
Yeah. I got everything that I needed.
I think Sani has gone to check out the tiara on her way too. The register said obviously caught her eye.
Ooh, okay. So you go over to the tiara. It is a silver tiara that has small little gray gems in them. They're not diamonds or anything like that. They're weird because the gems almost match the color of the metal, but they definitely shine. So there are gems and metal here. And this has a small worn tag on it as well. And it says, what you see on the tag is Crown of Madness, ? Madness scratched out. Crown of Arcane Focus, ? With a faint scratch through it. And then at the bottom, Studious Crown, period. 300 gold.
I'm just gonna rest a hand on it for a moment and just try to feel out the enchantment for myself.
Yeah.
Just do an Arcana check.
Yeah, do an Arcana check.
14.
14. You are able to suss out with this that it is some sort of old magic. It feels rough around the edges is the best way to describe it. The enchantment is not from a refined caster, and it was probably the first one that they ever made of this type. But you feel like it bolsters your connection to the weave in some way.
Well, if nothing else, this might be something to study on an evening while everyone else is asleep, so I'll just add it to the pile.
Okay. So then you come back with the different scrolls that we
Yeah,
talked
so it's
about.
like 3 scrolls for like 600 gold total
Yep.
plus this.
Plus that.
Mhm.
So okay. So yeah, the quickly go through and just double check everything for you and cut the tag off the tiara and make sure the scrolls are wrapped and cinched tightly and stuff, and exchanges the gold, and you have all those scrolls for your rituals and other use, and you have the tiara in your inventory now as well. Are you going to wear it or just keep it with you?
I want to study it a bit more first, but I
Okay.
am going to keep it.
Okay. Anything else you guys are going to need from the shop?
Doesn't seem like it.
All right.
Was there a weaponry section?
There is not in
Okay.
this one. Otherwise, I would have pointed that out for you. But this one is just, yeah, just books, scrolls, and a couple odd magical items, but no weapons in this one. All right. So you guys can head out from the shop, and you have your room now.
We should probably go find somewhere to use this.
Yeah, maybe somewhere a little more private.
A bit out of the way, yes.
Yeah.
We don't want to do it right here on the sidewalk,
Yeah.
next to this dying bush.
Do we want to do this now? Maybe we could go back to the place that we can stay that's in the city because of Sick's connection with the place, if you remember.
Matthias is down in the harbor. Is that
Yes.
what you were thinking about?
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean, we could trek back down to the harbor, but that's going to be a couple hours.
I
Yeah.
think as long as we just kind of find somewhere out of the way.
I mean, are we talking like walking down an alley? There's plenty of alleys here.
Yeah.
If you want to find a tavern sort of thing and rent a
Yeah.
room, like how private do you guys want to be?
I mean, people can still wander into alleys. I would
Yeah.
rather, if we're going to do that, maybe we can get a private room at a tavern or something, or to see what we can find nearby.
Or I mean, is the day still relatively young, or we could get further down the road, make camp, and then.
I mean,
have
we're
camp?
already in the city, so
I mean, it is early in the day. It's not even noon yet because you guys set out in the morning, so you could leave the city if you wanted to and set up camp. That is valid. It's whatever you guys want to do.
I say we could continue down, find a tavern that's near, as close as we feel like going to the college, and then.
well,
Right.
we should have the conversation now. The college is nowhere near here. We're going to have to travel a good several days, if not a week
Yeah.
or two.
So like towards the end of the edge of the town is what I'm thinking.
If they're still in the same place they were before we went to the Feywild, then we are going to need to teleport or have a ship. They are not on this island.
I see.
That is part of why we came back this way, in case we needed to get the ship.
Okay.
Might be good to talk to Agvir before we
Exactly.
decide where to go. Also,
We should find just somewhere quiet nearby.
Yeah, we can get a. Celia, do you know? Celia, do you know a good tavern nearby that
Oh, I know a lot. But
somewhere we can get a
Anywhere
private
you would
room?
the one that I would steer you towards that's the least seedy, with decent drink, but that's not what you're looking for, is the Tanglethorn, and it's not too far from here.
Okay.
So
Can you show us the way?
Yeah.
I can show you the way. And
Okay,
she'll lead you guys kind of back the way you came, like almost back to the main gate. But eventually you find this large, sprawling tavern that looks like it's taken beautiful care of over the years, so you can't really judge the age of it. But she'll walk you in through the wide doors of this tavern, and it seems like this is a very much like you don't sit here for a long time tavern for a lot of people. There's like 3 main doors, and people are just like coming and going, grabbing drinks and taking them out into the street sort of thing. So it's like a very open air tavern in a way. But she will walk up to the tavern keep and have a brief discussion and walk back to you with a key in her hand. And she gestures towards some rooms in the back and kind of holds it up and goes, you can rent rooms here typically for feasts and stuff like that or whatever, but I just gave you one for an hour. So I figured that'd be more than enough. And
That should
Sure.
be fine, yes.
all right. And she'll
Yeah.
lead you back and unlock the marked door. They all have little gold plaques on the door with numbers on them. And she unlocks one and brings you all in and closes the door and makes sure to throw the bolt on it. And on the inside, it's just a very basic, room with a table, a bunch of chairs. The scent of alcohol kind of lingers in the air from spilled ale and things. But it's still a nice enough little room in the tavern. And there's a small chandelier of candles flickering above the table. And she just walks down to one of the ends of the table and takes a seat and, yeah, waits
Okay.
and see what you all do.
Well, I guess I'll go up to the table and kind of put the sending stone down on the table and place my hand on it and invoke the rune on the sending stone.
Okay. As soon as you
See
invoke
what
it,
happens.
yeah, as soon as you invoke it, it starts to glow a very dusty dark orange, and moments later, you all hear like like a grunt from Egvir as his voice fills the room, and you all have like a sort of flickering image of Egvir appear above the room that you can see if you tilt your head just enough. It seems to be like a very faint image of Egvir, and he just kind of grunts in surprise for a moment and goes, "That was faster than I thought you would get hold of them."
I got lucky, I guess.
I suppose so. It's good to see you all again.
It's very good to see you as well. I'm glad you're well.
We were very concerned to see where we had left you last time.
I suppose you mean the fire.
Yes.
Yes.
That was Talwyn's doing. Well, I shouldn't put the blame fully on him. He
You can put the blame fully on Tallman.
I know what you mean, but I'm actually the one that burned my house down. Talwyn came after me and had continued to track me and seems to be hell-bent on exacting his revenge for what happened at his farm. And I knew he was in the woods and he was stalking me, and I burned the house to try and cover my trails with my runes, because I left the same way that I posited you there some time ago at the outskirts of Orashire. So I'm sorry that I wasn't able to send word, but sending spells have proven unreliable as of late in my personal correspondences, so I decided to go the awkward route of sending Mr. Leal here to your doorstep.
Unreliable how?
Unreliable as in I feel I have building evidence that sending spells are being intercepted and monitored in certain ways. Specifically, Talwyn seemed to know my location and the details of my routine that I assume he found from my sending spells to others. And it seems, as far as I've been told from my colleagues around the world, sending spells in general have been intercepted in an odd, never-before-seen way.
I see.
It's quite disturbing, given the nature. As far as I know, sending stones are still more secure, and that's why I had Leal so kindly bring my rune and have a fresh one inscribed, so I was more hopeful that it would be a secure form of communication with all of you.
Absolutely.
That's really disturbing.
They're intercepting it and they're able to track you off of the spell?
Yes, which, given what I know of that type of magic and my own magic, that does not really add up at this time. Someone is apparently manipulating the weave or able to look into the weave in a way that has not been discovered yet by magical sciences. I think I must just be a person of interest, and I would assume some of you are also similar people and persons of interest. So, not to mention, I did hear about the vanishing, I should say, of Matilda Ravino through the news.
Yes.
Yeah. There's been some fuckery with sending spells there too. So
So just more evidence to support the claims.
yeah.
I would not rely on those spells for now if I were you. Sending stones are awkward and clunky, and in my case, for example, you are only going to be able to contact me with this specific stone, but I have much more faith in rune magic than I do willy-nilly manipulations of the weave and using pre-made spell scrolls and all that. So feel free to contact me this way if you so need, and it should be a safe form of communication, but I would not recommend using or relying on sending spells for the foreseeable future.
Thank you for telling us this.
Yeah.
You're welcome. I just wanted to get in contact anyway, and I had planned to come to Orashire after hearing about your victory with the hag in the city, but Talwyn became an issue, and I had to leave the area before I was able to say hello to you all again. And I particularly wanted to see that Gaspard fellow, but I heard that you had all had quite a time in the city.
It was definitely a time.
I mean, uncovering and killing a hag would definitely qualify as that, and I heard that you all became something of heroes to the city and the people there.
Yeah. We stopped a, sabotaged the Thunderpad, committed some assassinations. It's been great.
Committed some assassinations?
Are you sure? Just the one, maybe.
Just the one assassination,
I
actually.
mean, I think multiple people died. It was a singular assassination that maybe had multiple victims.
Oh, you're talking about what happened in Windsor, I assume.
Yes, that
I
would be it, yes.
Wondered if Orashire had something to do with that. Didn't realize it was all of you, though. Seems you've quite moved up in the world.
We are the heroes of Warwickshire.
I mean, you quickly went from, assaulting farmers to taking out heads of state, so...
I still cannot believe that happened.
what,
Which
is
part?
The,
Talwyn or the heads of state?
any of it.
It is sort of a fantastical story, to say the least, but it seems like you are, as far as I can tell through this stone, that you seem well enough. And do you still have the plant with you, that strange thing? Did you ever figure out its nature?
Yeah, I've gotten some more information on it. We do actually still really need to get that back to treetop. But yeah, still have it. It's still healthy and well and protected.
Good. Well, I mainly wanted to contact you to tell you about Talwyn and that he is still sadly bumbling around the world looking for me, but I continue to evade him for now, and I assume that he will not find my current location for some time. And I wanted to check in on you and make sure that you are all right after I heard about Matilda vanishing and you leaving the city.
Yes.
Where are you right now? If you're comfortable telling us.
Well, assuming that you're not Talwyn in some ridiculous disguise, I am in the Kingdom of Por currently at one of my scholarly friends' estates. I had to travel not using runes and through boats to reach here in a way that I hope Talwyn cannot track, but I am in just outside the city of Fiedron.
All right. You're doing well.
Good to see you well.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah.
Thank you again for taking this charge from me and
Of course.
locating everyone. You were one of the few that I could even consider asking, and I'm glad that you seem like you held up through the journey as far as I can tell.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't have thought I had it in me a couple of years ago, but certainly after meeting you, a lot of that changed.
And you haven't had any troubles with anyone following or tracking you.
Not as far as I know.
Just make sure to keep an eye out. The world
Yeah.
grows. The world grows more suspicious by the day with these strange happenings, so just make sure to keep an eye out.
There have been a lot of strange things, yes.
There has. These manipulations of the weave concern me on a great level, and after what the world went through a few years prior with Edwin, any sort of disturbances raise my hackles just a bit. But you have a means to contact me now in case anything comes up. Have you found out anything about Matilda or any of the strange happenings on your end?
Some, I mean, I don't know where she is, but I think she's just trying to stay safe for now.
If there's one person I know that knows how to blend into the woodwork of the world, it would be Ravino, and she's dealt with worse, so I assume she is most likely laying low for the time being. But if you find anything, or I find anything, I will happily let you know. Where do you find yourselves now, actually? Because I know where Leal was headed, but I don't know. I can't discern through this where you are.
Oh dear.
Really? The city proper?
Yes.
Well, enjoy your stay. It's quite the sight. I haven't been in many years myself.
It has been interesting, that is for certain.
You could say that. Well, you have my stone now, if you need anything in the future, and we'll stay in contact. Hopefully, Talwyn, we all continue to evade that man, and I wish you luck on whatever, I hope, heroic quest and not assassination you are working on.
No, we're
do
staying
I.
out of that. That was...
One assassination is enough for a lifetime, I
That escalated.
Well, as far as I've heard, there's still no sign of the Haven Snout family after what went down at Vesnor, so it sounds like you disrupted their diabolical plans, and hopefully it was worth it in the end. sometimes powerful, evil individuals do need to be handled in a less than savory manner.
This is true.
Well, I wish you all the best, Alil. Take care of yourself.
Of course, if you need anything from us, you can contact us as well.
Oh, I will. Now that I have the means to, I will let you know, especially if a certain farmer shows up again.
Just steal his pitchfork and stab him with it.
If it was that easy, I would have done so a long time ago, Cass. But stay safe, take care of each other, and if I hear anything else about the manipulations of the weave, Talwyn, I will let you know. But otherwise, good luck.
If we find out anything else about what has been occurring, we will let you know.
Please do. And then the signal just kind of goes out, and the rune slowly goes back from the dark, dusty orange to the pale sort of etchings in the rock stone.
Kind
And
of
you guys
again.
tuck the stone back away and
Mm-hmm.
A magic conference call.
So I imagine this means you will be staying with us for a while?
I don't have any reason to go back to my side of the world, so I think I could stick around here with you guys. I think maybe I can accomplish what I'm out to do, traveling with you as well. So
I see.
yeah.
I mean, ever since Kreese stayed more with the ship after everything that went down in Vinzor, I mean, it could pay to have another person with you, especially since Kree's been busy kind of processing everything that's, happened.
Yeah.
Learning how to use their crossbow.
Lots of different things, but, it would pay to have additional help moving forward, I'm sure.
It would.
More friends.
Or as Vander says, more friends.
Sure.
And what are you out to accomplish?
I don't think my village was the only one in its current situation, and I'm just trying to see if there's anything I can do about that on a bigger scale.
Looking for options, you mean?
Yeah.
I see.
Have you sworn an oath to seek vengeance?
No, I'm not after vengeance.
So not a paladin.
No,
Okay.
I haven't sworn myself to any divine deities. Yeah.
How are we gonna go about finding how to get to college? Do you all think?
I mean, we should probably ask Matthias. He had the information, before we left a while ago.
That's right.
He might also have the best advice on how to get there before it moves again.
I mean, I know it kind of goes against everything that just was said, but I could always just send him a sending. I don't know if you want to walk a couple hours back down to the harbor, and depending on his answer, but I assume that he does have a good recommendation, so we could just try and contact him as long as we're not too concerned about anyone intercepting that, which sounds like a crazy idea, but
I feel like minuscule sendings like that, how do we get to the college, is pretty mundane in terms of worrying about who might be listening.
I mean, just because Agvir's, messages are being intercepted doesn't necessarily mean all of ours are.
This is true.
that's the interesting piece is who is being intercepted. If it's based on an individual basis,
And if it's involved with anything else we've been investigating or not.
and you notice Sick tilt her head and just stare at you for a second.
Hmm? Yes?
Nice aura.
Oh, God, you
That
too?
aura you got there.
Ah.
You two are well matched.
I'm guessing this is,
She picked up a thing or two from Vander's awkwardness.
I'm guessing this is a thing.
This has been brought up a few times today.
All right.
I was meant to be
Sorry,
stealthy
I don't-
about it. I was meant to be stealthy, but I don't really do stealth.
Meant to be-
I mean,
It's
Not
meant to
these
be still. And there's
You-
the
you
immediately
are
slow
wearing-
turn to look at Cass like, what?
you are wearing chainmail.
Exactly.
Trying to not freak you out.
Usually I wear leather if I'm trying to be sneaky. but
already
those
know
days are
about
kind of
it.
behind me.
But now Six involved, and now you're gonna be extra awkward because we left with Vander being it's probably
I
fine.
didn't say that.
there an
I said I
issue?
can't discern it. We should go to the
there's-
college and have someone take
Sorry,
a look
that-
at
See,
it.
they're saying
deal
there.
with
That sounds
auras,
very
so-
like a great idea.
They're saying there is
Good
something
idea.
different in my aura, and they
Oh.
can't tell if it is a good thing or a bad thing.
Oh, okay. Is that why you're going to the college? Or?
No, there are other things we were already
Okay.
going there for. I'm pondering over that.
Okay.
I can see it, most likely just because Cass told me about it and is concerned about you. So jokes aside, it's a very sweet thing, and we're all just going to be concerned about you. I can take a look at it without straining myself, if you don't mind.
I mean, if it won't be a problem, I just don't want to cause any more issues with your wound.
I'll
you
just
know?
go like this.
Hey,
It'll just go down my throat. I'm sure,
Oh,
you know,
sick.
it'll be fine. I'll be
No.
fine. I can glean magical disturbances without shooting blood. If I can't do that, we need to know about that. I need to know about that.
Okay, that is a point.
Yeah, if it's that bad, I shouldn't leave the city, sort of thing. And I don't think it's that bad. I'm pretty sure it's only if I try big magical rituals and stuff like that. So,
All right, well, if that is what everyone is thinking is a good idea, then
well, it's no, don't say that. It's
Yeah.
no. It's something that's like it was brought up as a concern, and as somebody that's a fellow practitioner, I would be weirded out if there was some sort of an effect on me I didn't know about. It's up to you if you want to delve further into it,
no,
or if you
it's-
just want to. If you want to drop it right now, we just drop it right now.
we should know. I was going to ask my gods about it tonight, but let's take a look now and see what you have to say.
Are you sure?
Other
Yes.
side
Okay.
never hurts,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
Yes, I
And-
mean they only have 6 or 7 pairs each, so another 2 is actually very helpful.
Okay.
So she pushes the chair out and walks over, and you just kind of see her push the sleeves of the blouse and the bits of armor, the chainmail up a little bit, and she shakes her hands out and just holds her hands out near you. Close her eyes, and she's going to do her own version of an Arcana check.
Oh, that was a lovely sound.
Just yeah,
And she starts bleeding from the nose.
yeah, just anime. Just blood. Her blood's under 100-pound psi all the time, and just
Yeah.
The weird
Yeah.
thing is this happens to a lot of people I meet.
yeah, would you look at that? No, so she just quietly goes like that for a moment, and you all see her kind of adjust her hands and her face go through a wide variety of expressions, and then finally she just opens her eyes and shakes her head, and there's definitely an enchantment on you. It's a protection enchantment.
Really? What?
I can't tell you the specifics, it's arcane, so my knowledge kind of goes out the window at a certain point, but it's definitely around you, and it is a protection. It's protection in general taste. It is protection. In general appearance, it is protection. I can't tell exactly what it's protecting you from, but you have a protection aura around you right now.
Huh.
That's a good thing.
Doesn't seem like I can't glean if it's not one of the ones that I am very familiar with. Protection from good and evil, protection from elements. There's a lot of different protection spells I can cast, and it's none of those that I've witnessed before, but it seems to be a distinctly arcane tinged protection spell, and it seems like it's on you. It's not like on your clothing or an amulet or anything like that. Seems like it's bound to you right now. Very beautiful, like gorgeous work in whoever wove the aura, but it's definitely, that's weird that you saw it on, you said you saw it on me? Yeah, I don't know about that, but it's protection aura, so
That can't be bad, right?
Wait.
I mean, you think at that point that,
My assumption with what I've seen as well, if the color matches the magic color of the it filled in portions of the natural cracks that you possess.
what are you thinking?
When you tried the sending spell when you first got hurt,
Oh yeah, the bolt to the head. Yep,
you said you saw her, right?
I did. When you asked me to reach out to Matilda, it was the standard way that I cast sending, which is I picture their face, the sound of their voice, if they have like a particular perfume, and I cast sending. It was very normal, and the weird thing was though I did briefly see Matilda's face, and she looked rather worried, and then I remember the horrific pain, blacking out, not really the blacking out part, more her face, horrific pain, and then waking up and flipping Vander over my head.
Do you think?
He woke up
Oh.
a injured individual, like, and I was startled, and
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
It was an impressive show of strength.
you're light.
Huh?
You're light.
Pretty. You're 8 feet tall. I mean, seem fairly decent.
It's about
size to
it's
me.
about leverage.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. I understand that.
What are you thinking though with seeing the face? You
It
think
is protection. Maybe it is something she did.
That's what I'm assuming.
I mean, considering that we were told that it was supposed to kill the person that reached out, it's not like I have any inherent protection about me. I'm immortal, and I should have died as far as I know. So maybe Matilda did do something to shield me because she knew what was happening, or the trap had been set, sort of thing. Maybe she thought it was you, perhaps.
Maybe.
But if Vander says the magic looks the same, I'd say he's kind of the authority on these things having a unique signature, at least with us right now. So maybe this is some sort of protection that was put on you. Especially
could be it.
considering those Inquisitors in the Fae seem like they're doing a lot of, or Ateth's doing a lot of tracking and stuff like that. Maybe.
Which probably means you didn't do anything wrong. I say very much just to Sonny.
Across the table with all of us sitting there.
Let's get you close.
Okay.
You know, it's Cass's stage whisper.
Okay.
She thinks she's much sneakier than she is.
Yes.
Cass is actually being sneaky and subtle in this moment.
Roll a Soka.
We have a way to determine these things.
I believe we let the dice decide.
With your big armor.
Right, well, fine, you rustic architecture.
Yeah, right. My, we'll find the rustic architecture.
Fine, yet rustic architecture.
Ray has not seen that. That actually is. We're gonna have a movie night here at the studio at some point and watch
that'd be
that
good.
that D and
That'd be
D.
good.
Yes, we need to do that.
Yeah.
I have
It's an old D and
DVD.
D movie
Yeah,
that a
so
bunch
you
of
have
people that played D
DVD,
and D
right?
together made, and it's called Gamers was the first one, then Gamers Darkness Rising, and they actually do a D&D game like this, but when they start talking about scenes, it cuts to them cosplaying their characters in the forest,
Yeah.
and it's great.
acting
It's
it
so
out.
it's got a lot of great quotes in it too, and that's
Yeah.
one of them. Is the paladin is trying to ignore the party doing horrible things like torturing a bad guy, and that they convince the paladin to look the other way, and the paladin goes, "My, what fine and rustic architecture!" as he's ignoring the torture. It's great. What was your stealth roll, Cass? Was it a 1? A 3?
Hey!
Everybody
More than a
pretends.
one.
Everybody pretends not to notice. Sick goes, oh, pretty furbug. But you whisper.
I'm just kind of like,
The awkward new guy. I don't know what's going
okay,
on.
yeah, all right. I mean, protection sounds good to me.
You're like, "Oh, what's going on?"
I mean, maybe I'm just throwing it out there. A magic floating college might be in place to find out more information on your magic protection spell.
We were going there anyway,
Yeah.
yes.
So yeah, I think maybe you sending to find out where this is and how to get there would be fantastic.
All right.
Yeah.
If I black out, catch me. And she closes her eyes.
You said, do we have to watch for that?
No.
She's not recovering from a wound.
Oh, okay, all right. Kind of like
That's why I was a little.
stand a little closer to her. Kind of like,
This is why I was being a little careful about her using magic. She's not supposed to be doing a whole lot of casting.
okay,
And you just
All
let
right.
her cast Ascending.
It's fine.
That's a simple.
I didn't.
Yeah. No, it's all your fault. No, so she closes her eyes and you just see the kind of like, you've seen her cast Sending before, and she seems like she like mouths the words. So you see her lips move slightly as she's like talking, sending the sending. And then a couple more moments for what you assume is the response. And then eventually she opens her eyes and she goes, just messing with her. I had to. Sorry, but I gotta have some fun.
We could yeet her out the window.
I think Vander would have opinions about eating me out the window. Would you really want to make him sad?
Would he be down there to catch you?
I mean, he's fast, so what do you think? Would you throw me out a window and then get down and catch me?
Depends on how fast you fall.
The normal rate? I think terminal velocity
Carry
works
the
like
2,
that.
add in the 5.
I can't do
You
math
could
right
be using
now.
a feather fall.
And what did- and then
Oh,
you-
featherfall. Yeah, I could always do featherfall. Very dramatic. Anyway, Matthias does have a recommendation, and well, Matthias reaffirmed where the location of the college is, and it is on the Southern Peninsula. But when they stop over a town, there's simply a teleportation pad put in the town.
Right.
They use it for recruiting, gathering supplies. It's very easy to get to it because it goes through the major cities in
It's just a
Quandir.
matter of getting to it before it moves again.
It has only been in the current location for a few days, and they tend to stay for weeks at a time to kind of offer travelers and people that have family in the region time to visit and for their scholars to go study anything that they might need in the general area. So I think we have plenty of time if we get some horses.
Or are there teleportation circles at the tip?
There aren't Okay. Are there teleportation circles in a major city like Quandir? I'm sure. I don't know anybody that has access to them. Usually it's kind of, you know someone, you have the money, they're reserved for royals and stuff like that. The ones I'm used to using are for the diplomatic corps, and they're the ones that the major powers in the world will use for diplomatic relations. So I've traveled from Arlia to here instantaneously through one, but I don't really know if they have one for the Southern Peninsula or if we could sway them. I mean, if I showed up at the keep in my official capacity as a diplomat, I might be able to swing it.
That
But
might be a bit more attention than we need.
well,
We
I don't
could
mind doing it,
befriend
but
the royals.
say what?
We could befriend the royals, go to the keep, be like, "Hi, we're heroes. You want to send us?"
We,
to
we
Sky?"
should just we should just take the
Hmm.
horses. We don't want to make a whole bunch of noise if we can help it. If we don't know who else Ateth might have as an agent.
Are you really? Do you think it's that concerning at this point that she has that many tendrils through the world?
Well, it is not so much that she has generals. It is more we don't really know
No.
who else and has not
It-
sworn to her.
No, it's fine. Stop. I've been trying not to think about what happened. So yeah, no, you're right. We need to be a little more careful because we don't know who's going to possibly be connected. So
Well, are way less fun. We have a prince. We should be able to use him.
I'm exiled.
That sounds.
Details.
I think it is really more up to Sick how he gets
I think
used.
it's up to yeah. I think it's maybe up to the prince. I guess you're a prince.
I technically, but not really.
Oh, okay.
it's sort of a treetop thing. There's a lot of connections to royalty there, but he is a prince. He is very princely. Treetop. Not the official sign of our nation, but cute.
We never signed off on that.
You want to go play nobles? I could play a princess thing.
Not really.
Maybe not this time.
Being overruled. Let's
Not
get
a fan
horses.
of them myself, but
Like I said, it's more of a lot of people in treetop can claim royal heritage. It's not like I'm really connected to it or anything, but Vander is. But even that's sort of distant. It's quite a mess of titles and that kind of silly stuff over there.
I mean, I don't think Treetop's the only place that's like that.
No,
but-
it's not. No, not in the slightest. We
Like
could
a
always
good
go,
old-
I don't mind pulling the diplomat card for all of you. If you want me to pull the diplomat card, I will pull the diplomat card. I don't mind. But it's up to you with everything else that's been going on. So we can get horses. We could try to go to the keep. I haven't talked to a lot of people there in a long time, but if the leader of the Silver Knights shows up, they will listen.
I like the horses idea.
Never against a good horse ride.
Okay. So horses?
Horses!
Sounds like
Yay!
a good idea, yes.
We can even see if we can get a carriage or some kind. Make it a little easier for us.
It's going to be a couple days, even at, decent speed. So
Yeah.
I would say if we can afford it, why not get a carriage and travel a little bit more in style, as it were.
Yeah.
I feel like the
That
Fulmar would
seems
have
like
one.
a good balance, yes.
Say what?
I feel like Fulmar might have one.
Maybe could have had one. Do we want to go back down there, or do we just want to get on the road?
Let's
Let's
walk
just
here.
start.
Are you sure? Because
Yeah.
Fulmar offered free horses.
Yes, but then it's going to be nightfall by the time we get there. and
Sure, we can probably find.
By the
something
time
in
we're
city.
done, it's going to be getting dark.
Yeah,
Okay.
we
I'm
can
fine with
probably
that.
find something in the city, right?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
You've been
usually,
here before, so.
what
I
I
mean,
have
it's damn
seen with
good
these
thing I have
services,
them.
they
Yeah.
are usually having a place to keep the horses when you get there. So we don't need to worry about having horses just around while we are doing things in the college.
Okay.
I just need to find a rent-a-steed.
I mean, this tavern literally has a stable attached. Most of them do here because you're not going to get anywhere else on the island without horses. It's a big place. Honestly, people rent them for getting around the city.
It's a big enough city for that, for sure.
I mean, it's the-
especially if they are a merchant and
I'm
needs
not
to
up-
transport something.
I'm not up on my geography with the sizes of cities, but Quandir is the biggest one that I've ever been to. And I know that Fiedron and Iridel and some of the others are large, but this is one of the largest I've ever seen. So I have rented a horse literally to get around the city when I've been here on diplomatic orders before.
It is almost oppressively large. Yes. Yeah.
That is actually how I would like. I like the city a lot, but it can be oppressive certain times if you're very deep.
I mean, I walk down one street and I see more people than live in my entire village. So
I feel you. Yeah. So we can rent some horses and then get on the road, and maybe a carriage.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. So there is a stable attached to the tavern that you're in, the Tanglethorn, right now, and it will probably be about 100 gold for enough horses for everybody, and for 50 more gold, you can get a basic carriage that is covered and is good enough for the travel that you need it for.
I mean,
I can swing that for the group.
Okay. Cool. Well, it's easy enough to hook up. It needs 2 horses to pull it, and then you have 2 other horses, and Sick will volunteer to either drive or be in the wagon.
I'll drive the wagon.
Okay. What about you, Vander? Are you on horseback or are you in the wagon?
He'll be in the wagon.
Okay. Looks like Sonny and Cass get horses then.
Those are not enough room for them.
Well, there is. Yeah, you guys could just do 2
I mean,
horses.
Thani will probably stay in the wagon because then she can work with her scrolls. And
You guys
stuff
could
like
just
that.
all use the wagon and 2 horses then and knock off 50 gold. So
Also, I think Sonny can't ride a horse. We had established.
She's only ridden with help.
She just
Yeah.
okay.
details.
So do you just want to do? Do you just want to do 100 gold, 2 horses? That'd be 100 gold, 2 horses in a carriage.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you guys can do that, and go ahead and who's driving in that case then?
Big boy.
I'll
I'll
drive.
just Oregon Trail this bitch.
I have to
Efficient
take it.
land vehicle.
Yes. Make sure that you are immune to diseases.
I am.
Yes, you are.
I'm
So
not.
is Sick. Sick and, well, wait. You and Sick are immune from disease. Have you reached that yet?
I'm an elf.
Yeah.
Are elf basic immune to disease? I thought you had to get level 3
No, it
paladin.
comes from
You're immune
Yeah.
to sleep.
Wait.
Level 3 paladin gets immune to
Yeah,
disease.
Shay, you are immune to diseases.
Okay, so three of the party are already immune to disease. So no
I'm just
dysentery.
immune to sleep.
Yeah, immune to sleep.
Sonny,
All right.
Dysentery.
Just
So
insanity.
why did I just blank on? Why did I say your name wrong? Allele. Geez, not Iwin. That's Evan's character. That's Quick Draw. With Allele driving the cart, you guys can head back out of the city of Quandir onto the winding road, heading down into the valley, and start making your way to the southern peninsula, where the floating University of Quandir is currently hovering over thousands of feet in the air above one of the small villages down there. Hopefully you can find this village and gain entrance into the university, where you're going to have a lot of questions for the scholarly professors there, from what sort of aura does Sonny have going on right now, to a bunch of other ones that you've kind of built up through the campaign at this point, right? Awesome. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. We're going to go ahead and stop there. We're just a few minutes over our normal time. Thank you again, Wordsmith, Jim Tunsully, Nitskul, everybody else that has tuned in tonight. It's just great to see your names in chat. Mountain Hoxa, everybody, just thank you for hanging out here with us at Mythical Family. We got a bunch more shows in the works and different projects here at Mythical Family, so please keep in touch with us. Hop on our Discord server if you haven't yet, and you can catch up on all the projects that we're working on. You can even participate in a lot of them if you want. We're always looking for people to hang out and game with us. You can see really cool art drawn by some of our amazing artists that we have in the community as well. And yeah, we're just working on a lot of bunch of fun things, so come hang out with us. We also have another stream right now that is every other Saturday, I believe, which is Shadows of Earthspur. They were just on the air yesterday, and they're having some awesome, amazing adventures with some fun. They had some fun kobolds on there yesterday, so make sure you check them out as well. And yeah, we hope you have a great week. We should be back next Sunday with more great D&D, so we will hopefully see you then. And yeah, just have a good night. We'll see you later. Bye.